Well, guys, my name is Casey Israel. We got the Filthy Mouth Gamer. I always get the wrong side on here, but we have Kratos and the Rose coming in probably. We're going to be talking about the future of retro gaming for future generations. I'm not happy with that title. It's too long, if you ask me, but I mean, describe what I want to talk about. That's kind of what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me and you, we're like the old guards in video games. Um, the other guys, the Rose, he's in his 30s, and same
Mm.
thing with Kratos. He's young. He's in his early 30s too. But I was talking to them on Saturday as Raw, and some of them were bringing up points like, yeah, like I don't think the younger generation is going to care about retro gaming. And I'm talking about like the old stuff that we grew up with, Atari 2600, and even the stuff that's behind that. Like, I'm afraid
Like
a
that
lot of
stuff?
that. Yeah, that.
Like
Yeah,
that stuff?
yeah, the arcades.
Like that stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, some of the arcades are like they're having the barcades are being coming out, and then you
Yeah,
have
those are cool.
and there's some arcades are coming back, but
Dude,
uh,
I remember when a high score was a thing. Like you
oh
had
yeah,
to worry about getting the high score, like that, and then they had it written down on top of the cabinet. The high score is this
mm,
person, right? That you know what I mean? That was a thing. Like you weren't just playing the game to beat the game, and some games couldn't even be beaten. They just kind of went on and on and on.
mm,
So you just who could get furthest and who can get the higher score, right? Like it's funny
yeah,
because a friend of mine and I were going head to head on Tapper in Barcade, right? And it's funny because I could play it fucking fast, like blah 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 blah, and just wipe the thing. But he's methodical. He waits for the tip. He gets the tip. So he, even though I made it to a further stage, he had a higher score.
yeah. I mean, Dapper's a good game.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I know what's cool is that it was a bar top. Like, I, f- I think it was, like the corners are supposed to be like the corners of the bar, but it would be cool if those had where you could put your drink in those.
Right.
But
You know what used to piss me off? I was just talking about this recently. Um, and this is especially when it was fighting games. When people would smoke their cigarettes,
mhm,
all right, they'd be smoking a cigarette, and this is like when that's another thing people probably don't even realize. They'd be smoking a cigarette at the arcade or at the whatever you're playing the game,
yeah,
and it'll be their turn. And instead of putting the cigarette out, they would take the lit cigarette and put it on the fucking machine, and then play. And then when they'd be done, either the
yeah.
cigarette would be gone out, and they just have fucking melted like a melted piece into the machine, and it would fucking
Oh,
make me so angry. I didn't own the machine,
oh,
but it's like, dude, why are you fucking with this? Why can't you just finish the fucking stupid cigarette? And this is at a time when cigarettes were $2 a pack. It wasn't
oh
like, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, throw your stupid cigarette out and let's go. And that's the other thing. Like, one time when I used to smoke cigarettes, I would try to play games with the cigarette hanging out of my mouth, and the smoke
Yeah.
would be just going in your fucking eyes, and you just can't do it. So just put your dumb cigarette out. Some machines, like some of these old retro machines, had an ashtray that would be attached to it, and you just put the cigarette out in the ashtray or let it sit there in the ashtray. Actually, a friend of mine took
I
one of these and he modified it with the little ashtray on it. Fuck it.
I don't remember that. Like
Yes, that was an aftermarket modification. Aftermarket.
it made sense. I mean, God, we're old enough to remember cigarette machines.
Shit,
Like
yeah.
that was a thing. Like God, like even like God, like nowadays if you find that it's just a God
You know, it's
find
funny. Replicade that makes the machines you can't see them on this side. I have two Replicades. They're
yeah.
1/6 scale. I have a Dragon's Lair and I have a Space Ace. The company that makes those made a 1/6 scale cigarette machine.
So Uh, yeah, I'm afraid about the future. Like God, like Atari 2600. You know, these kids who born in the 2000s ain't gonna
Mm.
care about Atari 2600. I I wouldn't doubt if they don't even care about the NES. They like some of them are just gonna be nostalgic when they first started playing, and like I'm sure some nerds or geeks would only they'll go back as far as we do, but
Well, we can't even. I mean, I barely have anything that happened before I was alive, video game wise, right?
mm,
So I was born in 1977, right? The
yeah,
fucking what year did the 2600 come out? It was in
I
that
think it was
area.
yeah, I think it
The
was 77.
Magnavox Odyssey was probably out already, but
Mm,
you know, before that, it was just Pong, really. At the end of the
yeah,
day, it didn't really.
part,
It had yeah, and kind of goofy other shit. There was some other goofy shit too, but it didn't really have a history until 1980. Then that was the fucking big explosion.
oh yeah, like, but it's like when I started getting collecting about the first things I was really trying to aim for was the 2600 games
Mm.
because that's the first generation I played was Atari 2600, and I still would like to get as much of those 2600 games, but then right after that, I would always love to have a full library of NES games, even though that's damn near impossible because there's so many games that are extremely rare and extremely expensive
Do you
that
remember the first Atari 2600 game you ever played?
mm, it's hard because I played Pac-Man. I
Oh, what a
played
terrible version of the game that
yeah.
was.
See, I didn't realize it was a bad version. It was like,
Right,
hey, it was a fun game, but I didn't realize how bad it was
right,
until later on, comparing to the arcade.
right.
But like,
And even the cover of Pac-Man on the 2600 cartridge made him look like he was eating sticks of gum, like like the
yes,
dot. Yeah.
see, God forbid they couldn't make a fuck. Pac-Man was round. They couldn't make the
Right.
pellet round.
Well,
Like,
it's like Pac-Man on the original cabinet. I don't even know what the fuck. Well, again, famously, the Japanese wanted to call it Puckman,
yeah,
right? But they knew, and they were smart, that if it was Puckman and then they brought it to the United States, right away people would be changing the cabinet to say "fuck men," and you know what I
exactly.
mean. And they just knew that, so which was smart. You know what I mean? They all right, so we'll keep it at Pac-Man because he does. He if you think about it, he does look like a chopping puck. So it does make sense more. But yeah, on the I don't even know what he's got feet on the fucking artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was one of the funnier things to talk about the arcade machine is that I heard Journey where they would like if you had like a certain score or something, you would take a picture of yourself and it would put it in the game.
You talking about
And
the band Journey?
yeah, I think it's the band
Well,
Journey.
they had their own arcade game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget even exactly what the name of it was. I know Atari had a game called Journey Escape, but what was the name of the Journey arcade? Because I used to see that in the arcades when that was big.
But one of the biggest things is that I think it was in Chicago, someone say, hey, it takes your picture. So, of course, someone being a dick, they took a picture of their dick and they're like, all right, we gotta cut that out. I was like, I mean, they should have figured something's gonna happen. I
Of
mean,
course.
like retro games like NES or whatever, you put your name in, of course you're gonna probably put something like ass, or if you had long enough, you put asshole or something.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, I as a kid, I would put my initials. Um, and then, well, a lot of times you wouldn't even like a lot of times you're just lazy and to become AAA. Just want to be
Ah,
done with it. AAA.
yeah,
is the fucking but now if I go back to a retro game and I have a high score, my gamer tag is God of War, so I just put God, G-O-D, and that probably
Yeah.
aggravates people. Like, oh, he thinks he's fucking God for
For a lot of times, like it's like I'm playing the Mother series, and you can put whatever name in there, and then sometimes they're like, "Hey, what kind of food you like to eat?" And I would put poop. It's like, so your mom would say, "Hey, I made your favorite dish of poop for to eat." I was like, and the later on, honestly, they learn to like if to block certain words.
right.
And some of them are smart enough just to have only where you can put only your initials, and you still can get away with a little bit, like you can put fag. Well, it looks like both of those guys probably still asleep. They hadn't respond to me.
All right, whatever.
So what do you think is what like you were saying that you wanted to talk about where you think it's going and where you want it to go for the future of retro gaming.
Well, I think gaming in general, to open it up to more gaming, and it's these companies are going to, they're a lot of them are publicly traded, so they're going to look to cut costs and they're going to use AI to make games. I mean, that's just what's going
Oh
to happen.
yeah.
I read an article yesterday that Microsoft and Xbox are starting to do that shit already. That's why they're bragging about how the next system is going to be the biggest technological jump ever, which is total bullshit. What they're saying is horseshit.
That's
Um,
PC.
yeah,
PC's always
yeah, that's nonsense. But as far as retro, it's funny. I I had this thought recently. I replayed recently all 3 GTAs that were on PlayStation 2. I played Grand Theft Auto 3, I played Vice City, and I played San Andreas. And I, 100%ed them, right? Got the platinum
oh
trophy because
wow.
they didn't have trophies on it. So I went back and I wanted to play all of them because, GTA 6 is going to come out. I haven't played GTA in a long time, refresh myself a little bit. And I had an idea, like when I was playing those games, I'm like, listen, these graphics, obviously don't come anywhere close to what we're dealing with now.
Mm.
But, you know, they're good enough to enjoy a Grand Theft Auto, right? So, everything has to be, the graphics look so real, but as we're going, the jump is a little smaller and a little smaller. You can
Oh
only get
yeah.
so real, right? The way I look at it is, why don't we, all right, make GTA 6, make it more, as more realistic, do all that shit 100%. But at the same time, can we make a new GTA in the vein of San Andreas, those graphics, or Vice City, those graphics?
Yeah.
And then, since you're not using all the memory by using all these high-end graphics, how big can you make the world now? You know what I mean? Like San Andreas has a giant map, and that's 2000 and what? 4, 5,
Give or
right?
take. Yeah.
What can you do now 20 years later if you use those graphics? How big can you make the world now?
It'll probably be almost like endless.
Right. The way I would handle it is I would be like, okay, let's do a game where you have all 3, San Andreas, Vice City, Liberty City, and you're going back and forth
I have it
between
tied
them.
together.
Right. So tie them, not and not necessarily a way you can drive from one to another. That's a little, I'm saying that you can kind of like fast travel on plane over to, oh, I
Yeah.
got to go to Liberty City. Now the Liberty City in GTA 3 is small, right? It's not that big.
No.
The Liberty City in GTA 4 is bigger, right? So you can even probably make it even a little bigger than the GTA 4 map. And then Vice City is tiny, like, but it's still one of my favorite GTAs. So the Vice City you're going to deal with in GTA 6 is going to be way bigger. So my idea is, take old technology, right? Even you
Yeah.
can even go back to PS1, right? I play. I'll go back and play Castlevania Symphony of the Night all the time. That's a game came out in 1997, right? Go back. If I worked at Konami, I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a Castlevania game, and it's gonna have the same graphics and audio capabilities as Symphony of the Night. But now, Symphony of the Night, very huge game. If you never played it, you know what? It's a 30-year-old game. So if I'm spoiling it for you, go fuck yourself. You thought you beat the game. You went through the whole castle, and now the castle flips upside down, and you have to now replay the whole game with an upside down castle. So it was almost like twice the size of Castlevania. What if you take that and say, yeah, that's great, but let's times that by 5?
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like let's see how big we can get it. Let's use old technology. You know it works. It's one of the greatest games of all time. You could play it right now, and it's still good. You don't say, oh, these graphics are terrible. Super Metroid. It fucking came out 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. It's a great fucking game. You could play it today. Yeah, it doesn't look like Metroid Prime, or it doesn't look like what was the one that came out on Switch recently? That was really good.
Oh, well, they're still working on Metro Prime 4.
No, but the one they came out with last was a side scroll, like it was really good.
Dread?
Dread. Really good game. But the way I would see it is if you lean into a little bit on retro style, but you fucking take the amount of memory you're using now and make it these giant worlds, then maybe that gets people used to playing games like that. And then they may want to go back and say, hey, I want to try Symphony of the Night. I want to try Castlevania 3 on NES. I want to try those fucking things. You know what I mean? Like now, you're a kid, you grow up and shit looks photorealistic. Going back and playing Mega Man 2 is like, why? Why would I do that? This is like archaic. Meanwhile, I know, it's a great fucking game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't know that because they're just looking at graphics. They don't understand that, but that's all they know. Unless they have like my nephews and niece. They're basically, well, my oldest nephew, he'll play different stuff now. But like even him, it's all Fortnite. It's all fucking Minecraft. It's all that shit. It's like there's so much more out there. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like to me, video game. Like just before I came on, I was playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, right? And it's been out a couple years, but it now came out on PlayStation Plus, and now I'm playing it. Fucking great. I'm getting dropped into the world of Star Wars, right? And then tomorrow, maybe I want to get dropped into a world of whatever, some gothic shit. It's you just traveling to different locales instead of being in the same shit every day. It's boring. You know what I mean? I don't understand what kids do. They play the same thing over and over and over again.
I'm gonna defend a little bit of Fortnite because the reason I was addicted to it for a couple years, and they pull you in because sometimes you'll get some of these cool skins. Because
right.
I would get like a Venom skin, or like a Thanos skin,
Right.
or like, but after 2-3 years I played it, and obviously I was playing other things, but it was Fortnite for me is one of those things that, all right, I'm gonna play a couple rounds, see if I can get a victory and call it a day, or if I get killed in like real quick after a couple times, I'm like I'll get angry and I'll put it down because I can't take it no more.
Yeah, well, but you also playing other things, right? These kids
Yeah.
are only playing it, only playing Fortnite. So they only know a third person shooter, right? They don't know a first person shooter. They don't know, you know what I mean? They don't know. Like, yeah, there was times where my friends and I were playing Halo every night, but on the side, I'd be playing other shit on, let's say, Xbox 360, whatever it would be. I remember they were big into Halo, and even on the side, they'd be playing Call of Duty also. And they didn't even know about Call of Duty because Call of Duty wasn't what the fuck Call of Duty is now. We're talking about when Call of Duty 4 just came out and World at War just came out. It wasn't nearly as huge as it is now. So when I said, yo, you got to try this game Call of Duty, and my friend and totally played different, we tried that. But now Call of Duty is like you could tell, now, I don't even know if you saw this, but in Call of Duty now, a kill streak, one of the kill streaks is you turn into a Ninja Turtle and you start running around and it's random. So if you call the kill streak, you could be Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, or Leonardo. It doesn't matter. It's like a random thing. But it's
Yeah.
just like, what have we done? What have you done? Like,
I think I'm not gonna lie. I think that would be kind of cool because, like, I'm playing Fortnite
right,
and my skin is John Cena.
right,
So and John Cena has the WWE Championship on his back. So
right,
and he has a gun. So
right.
John Cena's going around killing people. I'm like,
No, that's funny for a time.
yeah,
But even that, like, I would think it would be cool. Again, there's just millions of skins now, so you can't even do this now if you wanted to. But you said John Cena has a belt on his back, right?
yeah,
What if it was like, oh, if you use John Cena with his belt on his back, if you happen to shoot him in the belt, it blocks the shot. You know what I mean? But you can't do that now because there's just too many characters and you'd have to do that too many different ways. But if you limit
yeah.
it down to a certain amount of skins, different skins have different edges, let's say. But I mean, to bring retro game back into the fray, you're gonna have to make some good retro games, right?
Hey,
There's gonna be something that has to bring them to that. It can't. I mean, the parents should do that. You know, if they're kids of parents that like video games, they should
yeah.
do that. But a lot of parents, don't really care either. They don't care. They don't
And
care like me.
I still like I. There's some people I go to work with, and they know I'm into video games. They don't know I do YouTube
Right.
because I don't want to get that type of attention. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Casey, we noticed you weren't at work, but you were playing video games
Oh
online.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like, even though a lot of times I pre-record stuff instead of go live, but or God forbid I have a opinion on something, and then I would hear about it. So, but I tell people knows I'm a big gamer, so and I would tease people, hey, you want to come over and play video games, like, like, hang out, and, like, just teasing. But they're like, oh, video games are for kids. I'm like, back then I can understand. Before, if it's a media now, it's different.
No,
It's
yeah.
different. Like, even when it finally hit the NES, I think it's starting to change. I
But
think you
that
could say this.
But that idea was all bullshit all the time. That whole "it's for kids" shit, that was for people that had no hand-eye coordination, that were terrible at video games, that couldn't play them when they played them, to say, this is kid shit." But they have actual data now that shows that surgeons that play video games
Yeah.
have 37% less mistakes than surgeons that do not play video games. That's the actual data. Is it for kids? Right? Like if you whatever your job is, if there was
Yeah.
something you did, if there was something you did on your off time that would make you 37% better at that, it would be fucking mandated, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I look at it as not only obviously as a media. I mean, not only that, like obviously the cover is artwork. I mean, you look at the box is artwork, and that's why a lot of times, like, you have some awesome marquees.
Mm.
I had some cool marquees with artwork, and it's art still. So it's like But I'm just afraid, like kids nowadays. And I agree, like you said, that I mean the parents are not gonna like, hey, you should play this. And if they do, they're not gonna pull out. They might pull out a system they had as a child, but most likely they'll probably say, hey, here's a mini PC that has like so many consoles, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Like if
But
they,
it's yeah, I know what you mean.
but like that's a good way for the kids to learn what game system is or what games to play. But like for
But
me, I
there's companies right now making independent games in the vein of 16-bit, 8-bit.
yeah,
You know what I mean? That are really
Atari.
good. What?
Even Atari, dude.
Yeah.
Did you know there's a cartridge out there for the 2600 that would play a movie?
Oh yes. Wasn't it ET?
Well, I think they had the people who makes it. They would put a what's it called? Where the copyright
Right.
movie in there that you wouldn't get copyrighted, but you could put like whatever movie in there because you have an SD card
Right.
on it. But you could put. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was Ghostbusters or something. Like some. No, it was Back to the Future.
Oh,
Someone
okay.
had it on an SD card playing the through Atari 2600,
Yeah.
and like I was thinking, I would love to get that, and then managing. I was thinking, hey, how? I mean, it's gonna be grainy as fuck. You're gonna barely understand what they're saying. Like, I'm wondering if I can get away putting this on YouTube because, like, I mean, it's not like 1 to 1,
Right.
but like, I think it'd be funny to show that on screen. You know?
What if you is it copyright? Because you know, like a lot of people when they do a YouTube show, they'll
Yeah,
show a clip, but they'll flip the clip so it's a mirror version of it,
yeah,
and then they don't get the copyright because it's technically not the exact right. So whatever's on the
yeah,
left is now on the right, and vice versa.
yeah.
If you did that to a movie, does that still hold water?
No, the reason is I played a Sega CD version of the Power Rangers, and
Mhm.
that's literally you're playing the first episode of
Really?
the Power. Yeah, that's what it is. It's literally the first episode of the Power Rangers, and all it is you have to hit the directional. It's an FMV
Oh,
game.
so it's Dragon's Lair. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's that. Was
So
well, Sewer Shark kind of was like that.
yeah. So, but it's literally the episode of the show.
And
So
they just made it into a quick time event.
exactly.
Oh, okay, all right.
So when I tried to play it and put it on YouTube, I got hit with copyright. Luckily, not got striked, but I did all the tricks. Like I probably sped it up and flipped the image, but I still got hit. Or even put music over it, and like it's to the point where it was like, there's no point. Like it's a video game. I'm not trying to show off just a episode of a TV show, but it's a
Right.
video game. But
Well,
like,
what if you put your well, like, what if you take because there's a lot of people do this too when they do gameplay, they put themselves in the bottom corner of the screen of them playing, like looking at the camera.
yeah.
Why do they get away with that?
Well, you know what's well, I don't know, but when I was doing a reaction to the Super Bowl, I went to the NFL website and I had the score board, and you had the little football field deal
Right.
on there, and in the corner they had the YouTube clip of what play just happened,
Mm.
and there's a couple times I noticed it running, so I had to stop it, and uh, YouTube kept on hitting me every time that little clip in the corner was being run. And it's a tiny small section of the video.
It was like a picture in picture they used to have on TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, hold on, like, but
Why did
like
they?
I was,
By the way, why did they get rid of that on televisions?
mm,
That was one of the coolest fucking things. Like that was one of the coolest inventions. Do you know how many
I
games
agree.
of GoldenEye and
Mm,
and Mario 64 I used to play while I had the Giants game going on in the corner of the screen?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why did that go away? That was amazing.
For me, I kind of wish there was more like if you did picture in picture. I wish it was more half the screen is this one and half the screen is
Yeah, okay,
that.
that's fine. I mean, improve on it, but like, why fucking get rid of it altogether? Like when they came
Yeah,
out with 3D televisions and you had to wear glass, I'm like, this is fucking
yeah,
stupid. Like, this is nobody. I don't want to wear glasses to watch my television. Like, it would have been cool if, I mean, it probably would have been crazy expensive, but if they figured out a way to make a big screen 3DS screen where you don't have to wear
yeah,
fucking glasses and it's like 3D, but kind of like recessed 3D instead of popping out
yeah,
at me.
yeah.
But that's a whole fucking,
Oh yeah, that
yeah.
probably like that would be crazy expensive.
And even in
I think
3DS, you had to look directly at the center of the screen or you would kind of look,
yeah.
yeah.
For me, I always went off anyways because I'm like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was cool for a little bit, but then it's like, okay, let's say you're not looking right at it, then it looks off. So it's
Yeah,
like,
it's some games it was really cool, other games didn't even really use it. You know, it depended on the game. I played the shit out of it with the remake of Ocarina of Time or Ocarina, whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it as. Um, I left it on because that was just cool playing that game like that. Um, but yeah, I understand. I left it off most of the time. I
it
wonder
was
if those are
cool.
worth money now. Those got to be rare, right?
What the?
3DS, like original 3DS, the original.
I don't know. I know they have so many versions of it. It's like I don't know. It sold very well.
I used to have a DS, the original DS. I don't know where
Yeah.
the fuck it went. I have a Lynx floating around in here somewhere.
God, I had a Garguts. He has a game com in the box with a couple
Wow.
games. Yeah, it's like he's trying to sell it to me. It was like, dude, like give me the bro price. I'm like, I don't want to pay crazy now. I'm like, I'm not gonna want to pay sticker price. I'm like, dude, just hook me up. But he like, where he come across that unless he had that as a child. But
I can I tell you something? What they should do is somehow bring and I know there's arcades now. I know, you know, the I mean, if Dave and Buster's are still around, but that type of shit. I know those are around, right? I get
yeah,
it. But they're not the same. It's all though you go to that shit, everything is it's a shooting game or it's a
mm,
racing game. It's all this, you know what I mean? There's no side scrolling platformers. There's none of that shit anymore. I think, you know, because consoles are now the next generation. So PlayStation 6 probably gonna come out in 2027. That's probably the date.
you
Um,
think so?
yeah, because they're all
Yeah.
every 7 years. It's always that.
It is. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but
It's yeah, it's 5 years already. It's out.
isn't
No,
that
not.
crazy?
I'm sorry, not five. It's not a full five. It'll be
It
5 years in November.
yeah. So we're entering year 5.
Yeah. So anybody who buys a PS5 Pro, that's why I was like, why are you buying the Pro? Like 3 years, it's gonna be PS6 and whatever. But what they should do is my prediction is PS6 is probably gonna be $700 to $800.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's gonna be, right? So that prices a lot of people out. So what they should do is they should make money by so Neo, you remember this Neo Geo,
Yeah.
since the console and the arcade were pretty much the same. You could
Hmm.
take the memory card from your console and plug it into the fucking arcade and now
Yeah.
play from where you left off in the arcade. You'd have to pay, you'd have to pay a quarter or 50 cents, whatever it was, but you could play. They should kind of do, because now you start to have retro arcades where you pay $20 and it's all you could play,
Yeah.
right? Why don't you do something like that, but also incorporate where there's arcades where you could plug your memory card in for certain games, and then you could just now continue. Memory cards don't even exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even
Yeah.
a thing anymore, but bring it back. Like
The
like
only
you
thing that the only thing that comes close is that I wouldn't say a memory card, but it's for the Series X where it's
oh,
like
that's
a
the SSD fucking
yeah. You
I know what you're
plug,
talking about.
but I think you could still plug a normal hard drive in it, so it's almost pointless to pay for that. Like it's crazy expensive, so I'm like, why do that? But
I would try, again, it doesn't mean it's gonna work, but I would try to bring arcades back, bring the culture back, bring
I would love
back
that.
fucking, you know, get the old companies to get Capcom to make a brand new Ghouls and Ghosts, right? And then the artwork on, see, this is the thing, like there's no artwork really on these fucking machines anymore, but a Ghouls and Ghosts, brand new Ghouls and
Mhm.
Ghosts cabinet with the artwork on the side. But here's the thing, part of the artwork on the side is LED. So, like, in other words, like, I'll give you this is I'm going to think it off the top of my head. I would have it where the artwork on the side would be, you know, Arthur, obviously, and he's getting chased by, let's say, what was the name of it was not the Red Devil, it was you know what I'm talking about, that the enemy in Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, which is basically it's a
Oh,
demon. He was in Demon
yeah.
Crest. Um
Oh God.
I can't think of his name, but anyway, him in so I would have him chasing Arthur, but the eyes of the demon would be glowing like LED red. You know what I mean? And that would be all sick. You know what I mean? That would look fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like, bring current technology and meld it with old technology. Like, I had an idea years ago. How cool would it be if, like, hockey, where they changed it to where the jerseys, everything, instead of the lights being on
Yeah,
during a hockey game, the lights would go out kind of like in a movie theater, but only the ice would be lit up, and their
yeah.
jerseys, like the logos and the numbers would all be lit up like
And
LEDs.
glow.
Yeah, dude, that would be fucking awesome looking. And the puck, and like in the puck, you'd be able to follow the puck easier now because the puck is just this glowing fucking. I think that would look sick.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of still the idea from like glow bowling,
Right.
kind of.
Well, yeah, right. But that's more of a black light shit. Where I'm talking about, this is an actual because they kind of messed with it a little bit there, where t-shirts would light up, like they'd have
Yeah.
like a little battery pack in it, and then the fucking, like, I remember there was a Remax jacket, like if you were like one of the top sales agents in Remax, they had a
Mm.
Remax jacket where on the back it was the Remax symbol with a big um uh hot air balloon, and then the hot air balloon would get drawn in. It looked like it would get drawn in and then get erased. It would look sick on a jacket. I was like, "Yo, that's oh shit, we're in the future now." And that kinda just went away. But, like, I feel like there was, if that was used correctly, it could have been a thing. Like, I remember
Right.
I had a Giants hat where the logo would, like, kinda, like, light up. But
Yeah,
it's but they kinda didn't do anything with that. I think the arcade culture should come back somehow. Somebody should resurrect it, and not just because of games, just because people need to start socializing again like human fucking beings.
I
Go out,
agree.
talk to people, be face to face with people. Everybody wants to talk to everybody over a microphone. When you're just a voice, that's why you telling random strangers that you dug their grandparents up and fucked their skeletons because you lost in a game of fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy to do that online. I mean, let me tell you something. The shit we were saying to people on Xbox 360
Yeah.
for Halo was just, I mean, satanic shit. I mean, absolutely so fucked up. Now I was just telling Ken the other day, you'll get banned for life for shit.
Oh yeah, I heard like if they report you,
Oh yeah,
they're like oh you harassed someone like so oh so they're gonna report you and you're banned. I'm
right.
like
And they're recording like the audio of a game,
yeah.
so they can go back and listen to the chatter and be like, "Oh yeah, he did say this. He did say he dug up his grandmother and fucked the skeleton of a fucking." You know what I mean? Like, so we need to ban him now. But
See,
like, it's like,
well,
oh, just like, who cares?
it was funny. I don't know if you know Frank from the Harsh Truth. That was part of Drew's crew, but
No. Yeah. Okay.
uh, he was doing Fortnite, and one day uh, a kid was chatting with him on there, and he was like, he doesn't, and I can understand. I don't like to deal with anyone who's really underage on there because it gets weird. And I was like, he was just trolling him. It was like this. It's just hilarious because he's I was even feeding him some lines because I'm like, if he can't take it, he's playing the wrong game. Like, come
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so, it was just hilarious. And eventually the kid ran away, but luckily he didn't get banned. But now, you can go in Fortnite and oh, this person was harassing me, report him and ban them.
Yeah,
Like
it's again like we're taking the responsibility a lot of times out of the hands of the parents, right? The
exactly.
parents should fucking know, hey, if I'm playing a game where I'm killing people with guns and whatever, it's a violent game, they're gonna be around adults, right? And adults say some
Mhm.
adult shit, right?
And kids does that too, by the
Of
way.
course
So,
they do. Well, of course they do, because now they all have phones that have every fucking pornography
yeah,
video that's ever exist. They have snuff films. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's that. But like parents, they kind of like ignore that shit. They almost like don't want to own up to that shit. I feel like it's bizarre that you can't like if let's say I have a kid and I give him an iPad.
yeah.
Why isn't there an easy way to just block out all the fucking bad shit?
I'm sure you could to a point. Like that's
Like,
why a
remember
lot
they
of
had the
times.
V chip in the television where you could just block channels out from your kid?
Yeah.
Why can't I mean, I know it's more complicated with the internet because it's very vast, but
Hmm.
at this point, we should be able to just because you know, teachers, these schools are giving kids iPads a lot of times. And you give a kid an iPad, he doesn't give a fuck about ancient history that you're teaching him. He wants to see this chick's fucking gaping pussy spitting lemons and fucking coconuts out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's there. Like you and I'm not saying because the kid's a piece of shit. It's just like if you gave me that at
Hmm.
13 or whatever, 11, yeah, I'm gonna be looking out. But
Yeah.
it's like it's you're gonna be
The,
looking for it.
it's human nature.
Yeah. So I don't like parents. Like when my sister got her kids like a cell phone or young, I'm like, well, just know that you just bought your kid basically every porn video that's ever existed ever. Now he has at his fingertips. That's what he has. You just bought him a blockbuster video filled with pornography. That's what you just bought. Moved it.
It,
And they're like, no, I'm like, well, that's what it is, right? You gotta kind of know.
exactly. I mean, this is a little off subject a little bit, but I used to scrounge for porn. Like I used to go in the attic to look for like my dad's Playboy magazine and find it, and then
Yeah.
I would stash it. And then sometimes I would watch HBO, and uh, I'd be late at
What,
night.
real sex?
Yeah, real sex.
And
So
meanwhile, the people on real sex were disgusting. They
yeah,
were just, they weren't really good looking, but God.
so a lot of times like it's late at night and real sex is on, and then honestly I would have the remote right beside me, and I'd be like, "Oh, someone's coming." Switch to another channel. I was like, "Oh, I'm watching this,"
Right, right, right,
but
right.
but
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I listen. Totally understand. Like even Playboy was kind of like you saw bush, you saw
yeah,
tits, but you didn't really see. Well, that was kind of you went in a listen. I'm a dirty, filthy pig, right? But even for me, like I think pornography at the levels we have now damages someone. It just does. It makes you
mm,
and it's done it to me. Like I've been around pornography for a long time. Like, my father didn't have just Playboys. He had Playboy was like it wasn't even on the fucking menu. Like he had Swank, he had High Society, he had chicks spreading their twats open. You know what I mean? Like I was seeing that at like 12. You know what I mean? It's not like he handed it to me, but I knew where to look. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And then I'm also a nice person, so I didn't go into like actual deviance, but that's what happens is that as a kid, if you see a chick in a bra in a Sears catalog, you can get a hard on, right? And then
exactly.
you graduate to an actual tit, and then that's like holy shit, right? And then you graduate to bush. You're like, "Oh my god," right? And then
Yeah,
slowly but surely like then pussy's unbelievable, right? And then that
mm,
gets boring. So then it's the asshole. And then even that gets boring. So then now it spreads open to like full blown anal. Or people go off to feet and shit. They start going into weird fucking fetishes. And
yeah,
then, like, depending on how fucking nuts you are, then all that shit gets boring. And then you start looking into real fucking like illegal shit, right?
exactly.
That's like people that have a lot of money, right? If you're a billionaire and you could fuck any chick that you come across just because you have money,
Yeah,
then that becomes boring, right? So that makes you now want to go to Epstein's Island and fuck 16-year-olds when nobody's looking, right? Because you're trying to get a
and it's
dopamine.
nice.
You're trying to get a dopamine hit because you
Yeah,
can't get it anymore because you can have everything you want, right? So you got to be. That's what I'm saying. Pornography at the levels we have now, it makes it hard to have a regular sexual relationship with whoever you're with. Like you feel like everything about fucking is just fucking. It's just dirty gagging and spitting and you know what I mean? Like you think everything should you know, I God help these girls that are like 18, 19 now, and then the expectations these kids have of what they should have to do. You know
you're
what I
like,
mean? Like what
it's
they're seeing.
it's like, hey, can you do the wheelbarrow?
Yeah,
Can you
the
do?
wheelbarrow's nothing. Can you fucking gag on my like where it's like your fucking eyes are your fucking blood vessels in your eyes are bloodshot because there's just so much cock that's you got to do that. And that's to start. That's the appetizer for them. You know what I mean? Like cuz that's all they see. They don't there's no like in the 80s, right? There was sensual pornography, right? It wasn't just all
Mm,
fucking. It wasn't just all that. There was some of them had a fucking storyline, some of them, you know what I mean? And then it kind of took off from there. But
oh,
now it's just raw fucking.
oh. By the way, when I read the Playboys, I was just reading for the articles. I
Oh, I'm
wasn't
sure
look.
you were.
I wasn't looking at the pictures. I mean, I was just stimulated with the storylines. Like,
No, the
why the
articles were good too, though. I got news to you. Those were pretty good too. They were like, especially the ones like the dirty ones, where like
yeah.
obviously a lot of those stories never happened. It was just somebody making up a story,
Mm,
but that's stimulating too. Um, but
did,
we
did
were supposed to talk about retro video games, and now we're talking about gaping twats and gagging on cocks. Like, how does this even? Well, I shouldn't say how. We know how because now I'm involved, and it always turns into just
Hey,
shit.
hold on. Well, it's one of those things. Like we're chatting. I
Yeah,
mean, like it happens. I mean, it just evolves. I
it's
mean,
just
that's
like
kind.
pornography.
It's kind of like why I was listening to Drew. He's like why he got the derailed name, and it's because hey, we were supposed to talk about this, but we got derailed.
Well,
and
that's
that's
kind of
why.
like conversations that happen. That's how a conversation really goes, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
and
mean,
you
even the biggest podcaster in the world, Joe Rogan, he'll have a scientist on for 3 hours, and
yeah,
halfway through the conversation, he'll be talking about something nothing even having to do with science. It could be talking about random shit. I mean, it happens with him too, and that's a more natural thing. But I'm
yeah.
even saying like we're talking retro video games, and now
We're talking about
we're
porn.
talking about digging up grandparents and fucking, what I mean? Which
Well,
kind of
that's
did
what.
have to do with video games because I was saying
Yes,
it to
that's
some.
what. That's where we're talking how it was evolving, and then that's how it did. Because
I think here's the other thing. I like that video games are getting more advanced and the graphics and all that shit, but at a certain point, it takes away from it. I never thought it was gonna be that way when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh, there's gonna be a day. Look how good it looks now. Can you imagine what it's gonna look like in 20 years?" And now I'm here 20 years later. I'm like, "Yeah, it looks really good, but there's something to be said for like I replayed the original Tomb Raider even though it was remastered. There's
yeah,
something to be said for a 1996 game. You know what I mean? I like it. I like
but
it.
I don't like where more modern games will have like it's cool to have some cinematic, but when you're like sitting down and you're like watching like 20 minutes of
Yeah,
cinematic, like hold on, I thought I was supposed to play a game.
right.
Like
I
I
agree.
didn't like it's like a lot of times even with retro games where they'll have dialogue in there, like reading the text. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit and read the text. I'm gonna skip because I just wanted to get to the gameplay. Like I don't
Here's an
care
idea. You ready for this?
what.
Remake the original 3 Ninja Gaidens on NES. Make them the same game. It's the same game.
Yeah,
Plays the same. The graphics are updated, right?
like
Maybe
how far?
it's
Like
60 frames
16
per
bit?
second. Colors are better. Everything's but it plays the same. It's the same game. But the cinematic scenes, and that was at the time, that was the first game that kind of started doing
Yeah,
cinematic shit. Update that to a current technology. They're short little cinematic scenes, but now they're done with the technology we have now. That would be kind of cool.
and you know what? It wouldn't take years to make.
No,
I mean, games are now like God. Breath of Wild. When they first announced that took like 5 years before
mm,
they finally released it. And
right.
then when Tears of the Kingdom came out, it was like another 5 6 years
Yeah, that's
because
another
it.
thing. It's taking too long to put these games out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's understandable
right,
because it's not like oh like working like well the thing is with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom they literally used the same map but they evolved from it. They had underground and they had sky lands,
right,
but like like you figure they should be able to cut the time in half because they're using the same map.
right. Well, it was like Zelda Ocarina of Time came out, right? And then
Mm,
Majora's Mask came out 2 years later.
yeah.
And I remember it came out 2 years later because this like I'm just even today I'm pissed off about it. PlayStation 2 came out the same day as Majora's Mask. You could look it up. Same release date.
Oh really?
I was online at a Kmart, right? This is where you physically had to wait online.
Mm-hmm.
I was number 9 on
Oh
this line,
wow.
right?
Yeah.
The motherfucker comes out and lies, and I know he's lying. He says, "Oh, we only have 8 of them." I'm like,
Oh,
"That's bullshit. There's no fucking way that you only have 8. Motherfuckers back there took them for themselves, right?" So, as a consolation prize, I
mm.
went home with Majora's Mask, and that's how I
See,
know it was the same fucking day.
see, the thing is, I thinking, um, I used to work for Sears,
Mhm.
And I used to be the one who, like, I used to be all over the place with, like, eventually I went from tools, lawn garden, but then after a while I was working in electronics and putting stuff out. Like, I was the guy who would get the stuff ready for the ads and stuff, put signs, build
Mhm.
the end caps and whatever. So, and you would get the stuff early, obviously. And Sears was very careful. They'll have that all the electronics locked up.
Right.
Like they'll have the TVs in a locked up room. You had to be buzzed in. But if you want to get like console or something, you had to have to go through a room to get it.
Yeah.
And the game's locked up. I'm like, I mean, obviously some of the games should be out on the floor, but if the game console is not on the floor, that you would have to go in there. And like understandable, but I guess I could say this now. I think I talked about this before. When used to work at Sears,
Mhm.
I had a buddy with me. I get 10% off on for Sears. So this is when the original Xbox came out. And my buddy gave me a check, put it in my account, and so where I could use my discount to get him a console with the discount price off. So pretty much he would take the tax off.
Right.
So uh I don't know what happened, but I went to go get the console, wrote the check. I was shitting bricks because it was like, I'm hoping this check. This is before, oh, you can go on your phone and see how much money you have in your account. You have to write it in your checkbook ledger. So you're like, okay, I'm hoping his check didn't bounce, that it's gonna clear. And uh, it would scan to see. It took a little time for it to hit the bank anyways with the check.
Right.
So when they literally pulled me into the GM's office. So I guess something got flagged or
Oh
something,
my
or they
god.
didn't think I had the money. So they're like, Casey, if we run this check, it's gonna be okay. I'm like, yeah, it should be. I mean, I don't see why not. Well, I'm literally like I'm shitting bricks because I'm like I'm afraid I'm gonna get in trouble. You know, not only get in trouble with getting fired or maybe legal trouble.
Right.
So luckily everything went through just fine. But after that, it's like I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like even though I did discounts for like my grandparents would come in, they're like they wanted me to take percentages off. Like I gotta go through my manager. I can't just
Right.
go, yeah, here's my card.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like I think I abused it a little bit, and after a while they're like, Casey, you have to buy it, and that's when I think the whole thing with the Xbox happened.
Oh.
But after that, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't think I need to do that unless I'm buying it for my own. And I was like, but I'm knowing that like people would have that stuff. Like I hear stories like GameStop where people like, I want this console, so they'll put it on the side for themselves or the game for themselves. So like um but they obviously had to honor the people who pre-ordered it. But
Right.
if there's a loose copies out there, they're gonna claim them.
Well,
But
that's the thing is that those assholes at Kmart, right? They knew
yeah,
motherfuckers were standing out there. So if they knew they had a certain amount, why don't you tell the people we only have this many, and then I could fucking go home instead of sitting out
that,
there for 2 fucking hours, like an idiot.
oh yeah.
Watch this. What was the you ready for this? And you should know this only because it was a pretty easy number. What was the release date? The American release date for the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, it's 99
Yeah,
99.
exactly. Yeah, that's why it's so easy. How
Yeah,
could you forget that?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, they promoted it like that too.
right.
So, like, the only other one I could remember was for the Switch, because that's the only one that actually was in line for to get it.
Right.
And I pre-ordered that because um I knew that if we didn't, it was most likely wouldn't able to get it. And this is the time where, trying to get a PS4 was a bitch.
Yeah, why
And
is that, by the way? I don't
I don't,
understand this. I don't get that. You used
I
to be
don't,
able to get a system pretty easily, right? Even though I had to wait online for PS2 and I didn't get it, I
yeah.
got it within a couple weeks, right? I got one, right?
Uh,
Why is there such a fucking limited? It's so ridiculous. I still don't understand that. I used to be able to walk into the fucking Toys R Us,
mm,
whoop, and the tickets, like it would have those tickets, and
yeah.
the tickets they would be there for you didn't have to get there and they were gone in an hour. They were just there. Yeah, I want that, I want this. And I fucking scan. Like I don't understand now. They've made it like where it's like famine. You can only like I was lucky to get a PS5. I was lucky to
Oh,
get this fucking thing because Sony invited me to fucking get it.
see, for me, I got it maybe a couple years later. I was not going to pay exorbitant amount for it. Like, I'm not paying $1,000
No, that's ridiculous.
for a $400 console.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You can't do that.
Yeah, like I was like, fuck it. Plus, most of the games were still coming out for the PS4.
I can see it. I was just
But,
saying the other day, like we just said, the PS6 come out in 2027. The fucking they're gonna they just said they're probably gonna stop um giving support to PS4 by the end of this year. But it's like, dude, you're 5 years into the life cycle of PS5.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's a little ridiculous. There's only a handful of games on the PS5 that are only PS5. A
yeah,
handful, and you're 5 years in. That's just
and it's
to me, that's unacceptable. It's point blank. The PS4 as a console, way better than PS5. Way
oh,
better.
I agree.
And
I
way I look at it is PlayStation punished us because we demanded backwards compatibility. So they were cunts about it. That's how I feel. They were absolute twats about it. And they're like, oh, you want backwards compatibility? Well, we're gonna make PS4 games for the next 25 fucking years. How's that for backwards compatibility? It's like that's what they did. It was almost like a punishment.
but it's also smart though because they're like, hey, we still got like over 100 million PS4s out there, so why are we going to stop making games for it
Right.
when we can still get money? But you need that hard divide. There's like you could have cross generation games for maybe a year or two, but then you gotta move on.
But they will
Like,
also I mean, I know it costs a lot to make games now, so it's a little different, but when Super Nintendo came out, they were still making NES games
yeah,
for a while. Like for at least another 3 fucking years,
yeah,
right? And they weren't like ported over. They were NES games, right?
yeah.
And Super Nintendo had their own games.
Mm,
They were a lot cheaper to make back then, probably. So you can't make a dedicated PS4 version of X and a dedicated PS5 version of the same game. But it can be done. Like I'm not saying you have to cut off PS4 the day PS5 comes out, but can we do it? I don't know. 2 years in, 3 years in, three
oh
years.
yeah,
I think 3 years is
Max.
yeah. That's a good enough. That means that system at 3 years in of the new system has been out a decade. Okay, that's fine. But I remember when PS4 came out, from day fucking one, it was PS4 games, right? I don't remember a lot of PS3 games dragging PS4 down. There was some,
No,
but not a lot.
and you couldn't play PS3 games on
No.
PS4.
Well, that was one of the things that Xbox called. Well, yeah, backwards compatible. Yeah, okay, but your new
Oh,
games suck cock. So it's you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
and
So
wasn't even fully true too. Like you couldn't play all 360 games, and you couldn't
right.
play all original Xbox games. It was like certain games that they had license to.
I make video games like movies, right? Pretty much every movie that's ever existed, right? If I
Yeah,
search it right now, somewhere I can either rent it, buy it digital, obviously, or I
yeah.
could buy it physical. But like right now, I can go downstairs, search for, you could watch this on Tubi, you could watch this on Amazon, you could watch this. So do that with video games, right? Make it so a console and you can charge me for the fucking game. I don't care. Make it rentals. I don't, whatever you want to do. But I should be able to, Sony, right fucking now. And I pay what is it, $120 a year, $160 a year for the PlayStation Plus Premium. Make it so I can play all the fucking games. I know I can. There are, like, I could play Dino Crisis right now.
Hmm.
And I want to play it because I never played it. So I'll be able to play it. But they're few and far between. I can't play every PS1 game if I wanted to. Like I played Twisted Metal 2 the other day.
Hmm.
But you can't play all the games. Why can't I do that? Charge me for it then. You charge me $160 a year. Isn't that enough? Let me play the fucking
No,
games.
that's what they want. That's why the industry, they're like, anytime they find a way to nickel and dime you, they keep it. Like, oh, they're like, oh, you get expansion pack, or then you get DLCs. And for a while, DLC was almost uh, a dirty word for a while. And
Right.
then you had the microtransactions that came in because mobile made it popular. And that was that's still a dirty word, is a
Yeah. Well,
microtransaction.
DLC was good when it was a true expansion to the game.
Yeah.
Then what they did was they put out half a fucking game and then
Hmm.
charge you again for the other half. That's what they were
Exactly.
starting, because they're pieces of shit. This is what I mean. Like these corporations, a lot of them are publicly traded, so they have to be very inventive on ways to make more money and make that number go up higher and have the earnings this quarter
Mm,
go higher, so the stock price goes up. That's kind of like the law, right?
yeah.
They have to figure out a way, but they're doing it in a cheap bullshit way instead of putting out better games and having better ideas than other companies. They're doing shit like that, right? These kids growing up, they don't even know. There was almost never a game that came out with bugs ever. And if that game had bugs, nobody bought it, right? Every game that came out. Did you ever remember buying a fucking game as a kid where you put it in and it didn't work? I
No,
mean, either it
because
was a shit game or a good game, but it worked.
I would
Now it's
say,
like, oh, we have to put a patch, a day one patch. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, can you fucking, what did you do? Did you test this game?
well, it's because they had to hit deadlines, and if they don't hit their deadlines, they're like, oh, we can fix that in like later on, and we can send out a patch.
But then you're making me pay to test your game for you.
No, yeah.
Think about it. They used to pay, I remember Acclaim, right? They
Mm,
were based on Long Island. For the longest time, my friend's like, dude, you should be a game tester at Acclaim. And I was like, yeah, but it's like, sounds great in principle, but think about playing the same stage over and over and over and over. And I would not just want to be the person testing for bugs. Like they would not like me because I'd be like, hey, this is good, but what if you just added this or you made this a little bit like this and made that, to me should be like how it should be at what game testers would be
Yes,
like.
I agree.
I think if you change this just a little bit, maybe improve it this way, but people get very they have pride. They're too proud.
Yeah.
They feel like I figured it out. I did it my way. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. But there used to be game testers. They used to be
Mhm.
testers in arcades. Like I knew there was
Yeah.
this one guy in my area where they put an arcade, they plug it in, the game tester would come in, he would test it, right? And usually I would see him with fighting games. So he would turn on the game and right away he'd be pulling off fucking combos and fatalities because he knew it, because he was given the key of whatever the shit that is just to test the shit out that it works.
Mhm.
That I famously, the first time I ever saw Mortal Kombat, I remember I was in timeout.
Hold on. Let me bring. Want to show that again?
Yeah, look,
That's cool.
I was in timeout, which was an arcade franchise that Sega owned at a certain point, right? And it was in malls. And I was in timeout in the Sunrise Mall in Massapequa, New York. And I'm in there playing whatever. And this guy comes in with a fucking hand truck wheeling this fucking machine in. And I see, I mean, the Johnny Cage on the side of this fucking thing. Like, I didn't know who the
Mhm.
fuck Johnny Cage was. Like, I didn't know his name, but I saw that. I was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, it looked like Van Damme in Bloodsport. And I was like, yo, what is this shit? And he wheels it. I remember he wheeled it right into this
Oh.
space where all the machines were, turns the fucking thing on, you know, goes in the, if you ever know, okay, he opens the door and you hit the button for the credits, closes it, starts it, picks Scorpion. Holy shit. And then I'm like, yo, the character looks real because it was like digitized.
Mhm.
Plays it. I'm like, yo, this guy just got stabbed in the fucking head with a fucking spear and whatever. And then he pulls off the fatality, which, if you know Mortal Kombat 1, Scorpion's fatality is like mild compared to the other ones.
Oh
But
yeah.
still, the fact that he burnt somebody to the bone, and I saw that skull, his skeleton, and it said fatality, like he killed him. I was like, yo, what the fuck just happened? He just killed this fucking guy. Like, I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember
Oh
it.
yeah.
And I was a game tester. That was the thing. They tested them. Now they don't even test them. They're like, we'll put it out. If the fucking thing has problems, I couldn't even tell you a first person shooter that came out day one that didn't have server problems right off the bat. You can't get on, you can't connect, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It was just so annoying. But there was a time when companies had to put out a fully made game. And you know when that time was? Before consoles were able to connect to the internet. That's when.
Exactly.
That's when. That
Yeah.
line was drawn right down. It was pre Xbox 360. How's that?
I would actually say before that.
No, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. So Xbox, the original Xbox,
yeah.
never had that problem. Halo came out, Halo
That is
worked.
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no patches,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
There was no Xbox, PlayStation 2, that
Yeah.
Dreamcast, that area, back. Never had any problems. Never. Then now kids growing up, they just used to that. Oh, the game came to, well, you gotta wait for the patch next week. Fuck you. I just paid $70 for this fucking thing. It better work right fucking now. It better work. I like I said, I only buy games from certain companies. I only buy Nintendo never puts out broken games. Sony never puts out broken games, right? I haven't played Xbox in a long time. In the last couple of generations, I haven't owned an Xbox. But I see some of their games from other people have problems. Starfield, had a lot of problems. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to deal with that shit. Now, EA, I'll never buy a game day one. Fuck them. That's why I waited 2 years to play this fucking Star Wars game, because it's EA. I was like, let them on. And even now, it kind of has not problems, but There's something drawing shit going on.
Mm,
But EA is notorious for that shit now. EA was a great company out of more. So
yeah,
EA was one of the best companies. Like and now it's
they're evil.
terrible. EA, what's the Activision.
Yeah, yeah, those.
Legendary company.
Yep.
Legendary.
Another.
Pitfall, River Raid, all that shit on Atari. Legendary company. Now it's just a Call of Duty factory.
Hmm. Oh, that's all they care is like, hey, we gotta put this annual Madden every year, and with barely anything. Like it's been proven, lot like I think there's one Madden for 2020 that they used the same everything from 2019. They even like I think in the data you would see 2019. I was like, hold on,
Yeah, they
like
wouldn't even. Yeah, right.
they're
They
like
wouldn't even change it.
no. So it's like, I mean, to me, I brought this up. It's like, hey, what about this? I had no idea. Like, people already know that Madden is just a pretty much a roster refresh every year.
It's been
So,
like that since 05,
yeah.
06.
So what about this? You put one game of Madden, and then you pay $100 for the game for that console,
Mhm.
and every year you pay $30 for the
Mhm.
new roster. Uh, and if you and you don't need to get a new physical copy, just pay $30, new roster, let's go.
Right.
Because and then hey, what you get into.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they don't even fucking make different games anymore. They don't even like I'm not saying Madden was a big jump between Madden 93 and Madden 94, but there was something. It looked a little different.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I guarantee you, if we had marked out the certain years for modern Maddens, you
Right.
probably couldn't tell the difference from one and the other.
If Activision hired me today, right? And they said, "Okay, what do you think we should do?" I said, "I'll tell you what. I'm not going to tell you the shit you're doing with Call of Duty, do whatever you want. You want to turn Call of Duty into wild shit. You want to make it so a kill streak is beating somebody over the head with a dildo until he's dead. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. I'm not going to involve. But give me a limited amount of money, just a very limited amount. I'm going to take a classic Call of Duty, Black Ops, the original, Black Ops 1, and I'm going to clean it up, right? I'm not gonna jack it up to the graphics now, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
clean it up. I'm gonna prove it a little bit. Maybe the frame rate. Maybe I'll improve the frame rate. Maybe instead of 60, it'll be 80 or 100, whatever it's gonna be.
yeah.
But it's gonna be the same fucking game, down to the kill streaks, down to the guns. Everything is gonna be the same. I just need the money really for the servers, but they will never do that because they're afraid that
Mhm.
if they had that, it would be competing against current Call of Duty.
Well, not only that, they're scared to do anything innovative because
Well,
if
that's
it's
not
not,
even innovative. I'm going back I mean, Black Ops 1's 2011, right? So I'm
well,
going back 15 years but they know they don't want people to be reminded how good shit was at the
yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Before microtransactions. They don't want to know that. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to
Oh
remember that.
no,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, do you want this different skin for your gun?
Do
You
you
want?
remember how awesome Black Ops 1 was? Like outside of the game, let's just put the game aside. You were able to make your own symbol, like your own what is it called? Like what the fuck was it called? It was like a badge,
Yeah,
right? And it was different colors, you can make different shapes and make it, but people got inventive and they were able to draw shit with it, like the head of Boba Fett or the Joker, or people were really good. People were really artistic with shit like that. But then people started making dicks and twats and all that other shit. And then you can't have it. Why can't I have that? If somebody wants that, who cares? This game,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
killing people in this game. I'm murdering people by the dozens in 10 minutes. I'm flying over a battlefield with a fucking chain gun hanging out of the fucking side of the helicopter and just mowing down bodies. And you're like, oh, you put a dick on there. Now you went too far. But not only did it have that, it had I think it's the only Call of Duty that ever did this. It had theater mode. Like, you remember I told you about theater mode in Halo? It wasn't
Yeah.
as good as theater mode in Halo, but it had a theater mode where you can go back and replay. You could see your whole game. You can actually see it from the perspective of your teammate, right?
Mhm.
But and you could save it and all that shit, but they got rid of it, right? They just got rid of it. I don't know if it cost money. I don't know if it was a pain. It probably did cost extra money, but they got rid of like a lot of, to me, if a game is great, right? It's
Yeah.
easy. Keep what is great about it and add to that. That's your foundation. Okay, this is a 10 out of 10 game. Oh, here's the foundation. Don't fuck with the foundation. Now add to it. Maybe we could have done this. Maybe we could have done that. Maybe we could add a little of this. Maybe we could add a little of that. Like I was saying before to you, GTA San Andreas. It's one of the greatest games of all time, right? Take it as is and build on it, right?
I would say the same thing. Like, I mean, I'm a Nintendo fanboy, so
Right.
it's gonna shine through. So, like, it sounds like almost like how, like I brought it up with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like, they kept what worked with Breath of the Wild and they expand on it, and
Right.
and it worked.
Yeah.
And Nintendo, I feel, always does good. Were they perfect? No, no company's perfect.
They still take
But
chances though,
oh,
which is good.
yeah, they definitely like
What was that cardboard shit that came out with a few years ago? What was it called again?
Labo.
Yeah. Well, before it came out, I was like, you know what? This may be a disaster. It could be genius, but you took the chance.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You took the chance.
Sony, all they do like, oh, Nintendo just did this and it worked well. I mean, they literally ripped off Splatoon for a game instead of being ink or paint. It was like, what is it?
Oh,
I
what?
guess
Yeah,
it's the
what was it
paint,
again? Yeah, I forget what it was. Yeah, I didn't play it. I was like, I mean,
but
I
it's
wasn't into Split yet.
I mean, I love Splatoon.
Mm,
I knew it was going to be a great game for the Wii U, and I
right.
love it. But when I saw it for Sony did that, I was like, dude, they just totally ripped off Splatoon. And like,
Yeah,
it's
well,
not like,
that's always been going on.
yeah,
It's been
and
going on since the
Sony,
game started, right? As soon as Galaxian, well, really, as soon as Space Invaders came out, you had
yeah,
a million different versions of that.
and same thing with,
Galaxian is Space Invaders. The difference is Galaxian is in color, and the Galaxians, the aliens, they would come down at you, right?
yeah,
Whereas Space Invaders, they would kind of make a move down little by little down towards
mm,
you, but they wouldn't actually just separate themselves. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And they just improved on it.
kamikaze.
Right.
See, and like, and see, Sony always like, oh, Nintendo did this, like they literally ripped them off on a lot of things. Like now they had the PlayStation Portal. I mean, it's literally their Wii U gamepad because I guess you could take this thing out on the road, but you have to have internet uh, connection.
Yeah,
But
because even they're gonna start streaming games from it, they said.
yeah, yeah,
But
but you can't do like a switch where like, oh, I'm gonna put a new cartridge in here
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
no, or you can't download. I don't know. Maybe you can download the game to the PS5 and then it streams to the portal.
But they have but Nintendo has the luxury of doing that only because their technology is held back a generation
Mm,
and a half, right? So they get to do that
yeah.
where it's harder to be up to date, state of the art, and be portable. That's a difficult thing to do.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, even though I say that, but look at the Steam Deck. Steam Deck's fantastic, but the Steam Deck's a grand for the good one. You know what I mean? It's $1,000 fucking dollars, but it's a portable. You could fucking play all kinds of shit on the Steam Deck.
Yeah. It all came from the Switch. because people saw the Switch did great, and Switch evolved from the gamepad from the Wii U, and obviously the only reason the Wii U didn't do great is because the gamepad was a tablet, and a tablet was already a big thing before Wii U came out, and
Well, not only that, they didn't even advertise for it. They didn't even like. I
yeah,
didn't even know it was a thing until it was out already. I was like, "What the fuck is this thing?" And why the Wii U? Why are you naming it the same shit? Like you're confusing. Most of the Wii install base were casuals, right? That's
hmm
why that shit exploded because most people were playing Wii Sports in the beginning. That's all they played. You know what I mean? Families would get together and people that were into video, I'll play Wii Sports, and that was mostly casuals. Who won that? Did sold the most consoles that generation?
the
I heard
Wii.
that. Yeah, but I heard that PS3 at the very end snuck by.
No, they snuck past the 360.
Oh,
They didn't break 100 million, but the Wii has over 100 million.
mm.
But
What's
three
PS2? It's like 150. It's a fucking insane
no,
number.
no, well, hold on. They originally was 150 until recently. They're like, oh no, it was 160. So between this the PS2 era and the PS5, they suddenly just gained a 10 million sold consoles.
Well, but there was a reason for that because for people listening, PS2 had a huge strength, and it was that it was its own. It was a DVD player
Yeah.
and that was huge. Like that
Mhm.
really put a fucking leg up on everyone. Like people were just buying it not even to play games, just to play the fucking movies because
Yeah.
it was an inexpensive DVD player that also happened to play video games. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that was a huge thing. That's I think pushed that. Like even like Xbox 360 and
hmm
PS3, right? PS3 played Blu-rays,
Yeah.
right? And then there was that whole Blu-ray versus HD DVD fucking fight, and it was like, listen, we know where this is gonna go. It's obviously gonna be Blu-ray. I mean, they have the install base on just Sony already. Like, give it up.
well, well, here's the kicker. I actually have the HD DVD add-on for
Do
the
you?
yeah, for the 360
That's
in
like
the
the
box.
Betamax of that
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah. So it's like, hold on. So it's an add-on. It's a CD add-on for a CD console.
Right.
So here's the thing. I tried to like experiment once. Like, well, this is a CD player and that's a CD player. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna put a 360 game in the HD DVD player.
Right.
Wouldn't do it. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
right.
like. So, and like they were planning to obviously to have it eventually have the HD DVD built in it, but obviously by the time they did that, it was a dead brand.
Yeah, it was dead. Listen, Xbox 360, what they probably, as far as all Xboxes, is the highest selling Xbox there was, right?
Yes, yeah,
So they did well without having that. You know what I mean? They did all right. Because remember, that's when Netflix became a streaming service. So they didn't even have to worry about it.
I'm glad you brought that up. We were doing yesterday, Saturday is Raw. I'm just curious, how much Xbox Series X and S's you think has sold by now?
Just X, I think Xbox Series X, I would say 40 million.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it up right now. Give me a minute. I have to go Google real quick. How many Xbox
Oh
Series?
wow. As of June 2024, which is
Yep,
6 months ago, more than that. It's only 28 million.
yep, 28 million, and that's with X and S sold.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
together?
yeah, that's
Oh my
together.
god, dude.
Look at that right there. X and S.
Dude, let me tell you something. And we got to be honest here, right? Cuz so PS5 is sold 65.5 million, which is good, but it's still
Yeah.
not it's hilarious what's going on right now. So now Xbox is bringing Xbox games to Sony, right? First they're going
Yeah.
to do Forza, then they're probably going to do the Master Chief Collection and then others. And then it's funny because the Xbox like loyalists will say, "Well, you see, that's how it should be. Everybody should be able to play everything." And it's like, "No. No, I don't think that's true. I think it's good to have exclusive titles because it causes competition. And when you cause competition, it makes companies try to beat other companies and do better. If you don't have competition, then everything becomes bland. Go back to
Yeah.
Madden. When Madden was competing against 2K, football games were fantastic. As soon as NFL 2K5 came out, and it was $20 day one, and it was better than Madden 05. That's when EA, because they're a bunch of pussies, they spent money and got the exclusive rights to the NFL. And then from that day on, Madden became bland shit because they didn't have to compete against anyone. Because the only game in town. So when Xbox says, "Oh, we did this for the good of gamers," no, you didn't. You're doing this out of desperation because you have never. And again, I preferred Xbox 360 over PS3. I played the
Yeah.
shit out of Xbox 360.
Yeah. I agree.
And I had both. And I played Xbox 360 way more. I love PlayStation 3 was good, but they've never won a single console war.
Nope.
They've never won a
It,
single one, right? So they talk a lot of shit how they're like so magnanimous because we're allowing Sony players to play our games. No, you're doing it out of desperation. You spend all this fucking money to buy all these publishers bragging, "Oh, look what they're doing. Look, oh, holy shit, they control the company." But they're still not selling consoles. And you know why you know where they fucked up? I'm going to tell you where they fucked up is when they took their games and they also let PC players play them.
oh
And
yeah.
that was it. That was it. Because then the exclusivity was out the fucking window.
And
Why do
only
I need an
that,
Xbox? I'll fucking
got
play it on
Game Pass.
PC. Yeah.
Game
Right.
Pass. Like
Well, that was out of desperation. The Xbox One fucked them good. They fucked themselves the Xbox One. That was the beginning of the end. Right there. You can mark it right fucking there. And I knew it when in the E3, that E3 year, when
oh
Xbox
yeah.
showed Xbox One and PS4 showed, I said, this is the way Sony, because Xbox, what was it? What did Xbox try to do? Like you couldn't borrow games
Yeah,
because it was
exactly.
always online or some shit. So you can't like
Not only
share games with your friends. Like, oh, try this game here. You could borrow it. You couldn't even do that. And then
that
Sony was like, here, watch. You want to share a game? Fucking Sony, here. This is how you share a game. Here, would you like to try this game? Like that was it.
not only,
Done.
well, it was not only that, it was also that they wanted to us to not able to buy used games. They were
Right.
trying to, so it was like they were trying to cut out the stores like GameStop out of business, and it was stupid because it was
And
like,
that's why all digital dickheads now. That
mm,
I only play digital. Well, you're a fucking asshole because now you're paying the same amount of money for a game that you don't even own. It's like a long-term rental. It's like a 10-year rental. And then when the
mm,
license is up, say goodbye to your fucking game. And
yeah.
you can't even buy used games. There's no such thing. It's
And
gone.
here, Sony
And
made
you're paying full price for a game that doesn't even have a physical copy.
here's a kicker. There's so many things we could talk about, but Sony did shit their pants this year where with Concord, where it
Oh
was
my
only
God, yeah.
out for 2 weeks or
Yep.
something like that, and now like you can't play it.
Yeah, but good.
Like
Fuck games as a service. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that shit. You know, it was a good idea in the beginning with Destiny, right? I played the shit out of Destiny. And then you notice that, they're like, Destiny's going to be a 10-year game. Okay.
That's bullshit.
Right. 2 years in, 2.5 years in. Oh, Destiny 2. Oh, can I take all the hours and hours and hours and hours of work that I put into Destiny 1, the weapons and all my upgrading? Can I bring it over to Destiny? No. You got to start all over again. Fuck you. I was out right there. Like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm out. But like, I again, that's their way of putting out a bare bones product, paying full price at the beginning and saying, "Oh, we'll just add on to it and add on to it and add on to it." And then after 5 years you'll have a full game. But it's not as if like I didn't pay for the fucking add-ons. You're charging me on top of that. You're charging me, "Oh, it's the new fucking end of Crota expansion, $35 fucking dollars." It's, like, no, I'm not falling for that shit anymore. I'm not doing that shit anymore. And then a lot of these games aren't even that good. Like, Destiny was a good game. I had a lot of fun with it. But like, Anthem was a piece of shit. What is it called? Not the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Suicide Squad, a piece of shit. Concord, a piece of shit. All these games, pieces of shit. Right? Now, Fortnite is good because all that shit, all those microtransactions, they're just cosmetic.
Yeah.
They're not making anybody better. They just maybe there's a glitch and sometimes something makes you know what I mean, but then they'll iron it out. But it's all cosmetic, right?
And it's completely free. You don't have to put a dime.
No, you don't have to put a dime into it. That to me is good. Like, you don't. It's a free game because they know, hey, if I get you hooked on this game, you're gonna want to, buy skins and you're gonna want to do that. It was a smart thing, but this whole games as a service shit, fuck that. I want a full game. I'm so glad it happened to Concord, because what happened next after that is we found out that what's the company that made the remake of Demon Souls, and they made the remake of Shadow of the Colossus. I can't think of the name. But
I need to play that, by the way.
Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that company's really good. They make really good remakes. But once Concord failed, they found out that Sony had them working on a games as a service God of War, which would have fucked God of War. It would have ruined it. It would have fucked one of their biggest franchises up by that shit. But by Concord failing, they fucking pulled the plug on it. I was like, yes. Thank you, fucking Lord.
I thought the God of War series is done after Ragnarok.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Yeah, because even in this last game, the game before this, God of War 2018,
yeah,
you saw that Kratos, it looks like he's going to bounce from mythology to mythology. So he started in Greek, then he was in Norse. Now the rumor is he's going to Egyptian. So he's going to be fighting with Ra and fucking Horus and all that shit.
I got into playing it like I played the 3 remix on the PS. Was it on the PS4?
PS4, yeah.
So I got into that, and then I started playing a little bit of the other ones. Then I really loved the newer ones.
Yeah.
Because they're well made.
Right.
But I do love the God of War series now.
Yeah, I love that character.
Yeah.
That's one of the best characters. It might be my favorite video game character ever. His backstory is just amazing.
But it's just feeling like, sometimes you need the big failures, but then I feel like if some of these companies get the big failures, they don't want to innovate no more. They're like, well,
Right.
they don't. They're like that didn't work. So why we want to put millions of dollars and years into working on things that we're not sure it's going to work?
But
I
like I
mean,
said, going back to what I said, you don't have to put millions of dollars in anymore. Make and again, make current technology shit too. I'm not saying just go back, but also at the same time, make old technology, but expand it to huge
mm,
levels. You know, like that would be amazing. Take
I mean,
fucking a Super Nintendo level game, but make it 150 hours long.
well,
You
yeah,
know,
that's. I would say you can almost look at Sonic Mania, where it's literally like Sonic 2 on steroids, or 3, Sonic 3.
I just find a matter of fact, you just mentioned Sonic. I just played Frontiers.
Yeah,
There was just too much. It was good, but just too much going on. There was just too
I
much shit
tried.
going on.
I tried it. I'm not a big fan of 3D Sonic games.
I think it was they captured the speed at which he would run
Yeah.
in a 3D realm, but there was just too much shit around. Like it was like, oh, you could look at this. There's a rail that fucking you spin around and you go up here and you end up here. But as you're passing that, there's 14 other rails around you that end up somewhere else. It's like, oh, I can't even like you have any ADHD, you are fucked in that game.
And it's like Sega's not even the same company. It seems like that's the only game they can make anymore. They'll put
No,
out
but you saw what they're making now, right?
what?
Oh, so they're making a new Golden Axe. They're making a new Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And the
And
crazy, I think it might be called, I don't know if this is true, but Crazy Taxi World. So it's going to be like a big open world Crazy Taxi.
mm,
They're making, what the fuck was the other one they were making?
was it Jet Set
Jet, yeah, I
Radio?
think Jet Set is involved. Um, but I like that they're starting to go to the old catalog. You know, I
And
like
then,
that.
honestly, I kind of wish Nintendo buy Sega because I feel Nintendo could use some of their properties and evolve it. But like,
Here's
I'm
this. You ready for this? Hey, Namco, you want an idea? Here's your idea. Here's my idea. An open world Splatterhouse.
oh my god,
Okay? An open world Splatterhouse where the whole world is really dark and demonic. And it's just fucking like Splatterhouse is bloody as shit. Like that was like the
yeah.
first bloody game that I ever saw. Do it. We need I want an open world Castlevania. That's
There
what
you
I
go.
want. That's what I want. Because and you know what? It was close to it was Bloodborne. Very close to that.
Yeah,
Not really open world, but like as far as the atmosphere, unbelievable. I want open world Castlevania. Please. Please. Open
and
world fucking Contra.
see, the thing is, I think a lot of these companies forget. Hey, we had some really cool franchise. They're like think that those franchises are dead and buried and they can't go back to it. Or like if they have one flop, they're like, well, that franchise had a flop. It's kind of like how I'm the dig at Nintendo where they had a flop of Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. And it's because not the game was a bad game. It's because the way their controls was because you're looking at the gamepad and you had to look at the TV, so you literally had to look at two screens. Like,
Oh, yeah,
but-
yeah, yeah.
so the game's not bad. It's just the controls.
What'd you think
But
of Star Fox Adventures?
I never played that, and
Yeah.
like I played Star Fox original one. I got a reproduction card of the second one.
Yeah, which I heard is not good.
Nah, it's not good.
Yeah. And then Star Fox 64 is basically the first Star Fox, but just a little 64 version
And,
of it.
and you know what? Star Fox Zero is in the. It's like Star Fox 64.
Are you
It's
serious?
That's pretty much what it is. It's just
What?
like, yeah, it's like it's evolved from the first one to where 64 is, and that's what
Do you remember
Zero.
when? I didn't play it, but I heard it wasn't that good. But do you remember when there was a crossover between Nintendo and um what's the company that the company that makes Ninja Gaiden? It's not Ninja Theory. It's fucking
I can't think of it
But
right
they made
now.
a crossover Metroid game,
Did they?
and yeah, and I heard it wasn't that good, but they should. What were we just talking about right before this? What game was it? Star
Star
Fox.
Fox?
They should take the company that makes um Ace Combat and make a crossover with them with Nintendo and make a Star Fox game. Right?
You-
Make a fucking game where it's got the flying technology is really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so make it like a realistic Star Fox.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said before, I think Zero wasn't that bad. It was just like the controls really killed it. And I kind of wish they would port it to the Switch and just fix the controls, but honestly, it looks like that's not happening. That's
And
one.
I want Falco to finally tell Slippy to go fuck his mother. Right over the comms. Like just shut the fuck up, Slippy. Seriously.
The barrel.
You're lucky even have a job, you fuck.
The
You know what I mean?
barrel. It's like,
Or here's an idea. Don't even involve Fox. Have a dedicated game around Falco. Or have a dedicated game. You know what I mean? Like, do it like the Avengers. Break off the games until, like they have their own games and then bring it into one big fucking game. That's what I thought GTA 5 was going to be. I thought GTA 5, and this would have been brilliant, was going to take the protagonist from 3, the protagonist from 4, I mean, Vice City, and the protagonist from San Andreas, and all mix them together and bring them to one GTA. That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, nah, it didn't happen. Fuck.
I mean, GTA 5,
No, it was a great game.
yeah, and Rockstar knew what they were doing. I mean, God, it's a how many year old game? Like
It's
maybe
almost 15
13.
now.
So, I mean, and it made crazy amount of money.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely a reason why they didn't want to move on to GTA 6. It's like, hey, we're making bank. Why move on when we
I
can
didn't
make
like
more?
online, to be honest with you. Didn't like it.
Really?
Nah.
I like it. The only problem is if someone knows, like, where you are or where you're gonna spawn, and they'll come and kill you
Yeah,
immediately.
that's what I'm saying. I think it was I mean, listen, what do I know? They made billions of dollars with it. But the way I would handle it is I kind of like it was very archaic, but I liked kind of where it was going with remember GTA 4 had online?
Yeah,
It kind of like and they had deathmatch and team deathmatch. I liked that. But it wasn't implemented well because it was early, but I would have done something like that. I would have done it where there was a mode. So when like in the regular GTA games, some of the side questions, you had to steal a car and then bring it and sell it at the impound or whatever. And that would be a mode. One team has to steal a car and bring it to the impound, and the other fucking team are the cops.
did did you know that there's role playing now in GTA 5
What do you mean?
where people would play as anything? Like Drew right now is part of this group where they role play. Like he'll play as a cop, and he would do a shift of being a cop, and you had to be pretty stay to it because they this group will kick you out of the servers
But
if
it was
you.
them doing it on their own. It wasn't a game mode. They were just doing it as on their own.
Yeah, well, it's a server, I think.
No, I know that it's a server, but it's not like Rockstar made a mode where you play as a cop.
I I don't I don't know, but
It's like playing pretend. It's like when you were a kid and you were playing
exactly.
house, and then you would finger the little girl down the block.
'Cause- yeah,
Somehow because you were, I'm not, I'm just joking around, but kind of like it was like make believe in your
yeah.
own sandbox.
Let me. I'll show you a little bit of what I'm talking about with Drew. Let
And this is
me.
where YouTube takes his video down right here.
Yeah, Drew takes me down.
Yeah.
Let me see, because come on, man. I I have so many people that I'm sub to, and that even I try to put derailed in there, it'll take me. Uh, it's hard to find. Where is it? I might have to put derail gaming because Drew would do all types of stuff. Here, like right there, that's his new channel. Under his new channel name.
Right.
Like right here, he's playing as a cop right there. Like he's doing a full shift as a cop. So that he just waits for people to violate like street uh rules or laws and or do crime. Like right, he'll be like right there hanging out under an overpass and waiting for someone to come by. He'll even go to like a gas station to pick up food and stuff. And sometimes he'll play like as the dispatcher.
How
So
the
he's
fuck do you do
behind.
that?
I, I don't know. I'm like, I should bring that up where he plays as the dispatcher. It's cool because, dude, he's ever since he started doing this, he's got crazy amount of subs since he broke 11,000
Oh,
subs.
okay.
Like he's doing Red Dead Redemption 2,
Right.
but let's see if I can find it right here. Is doing dispatch right there. He just watch over and he talks to the people online, but he's just the dispatcher.
That's weird.
So, yeah, isn't that crazy? Like
But they should
that.
also make GTA kind of like almost The Sims, where if you don't
that
even if you want to just have a job
that's
delivering concrete,
that's
you could
what
do.
pretty much you could do too. Like
No,
Drew.
no, but I'm saying an actual dedicated mode, right? Because in GTA,
Yeah.
you could steal an ambulance, and next thing you know, you're an ambulance picking up people that are hurt. You know what I mean? That's like the mini game. Or a cop. If you jump in a cop car, you hit the button, and now you're chasing down like people that are like, I would wait towards the end of the game where I have a helicopter where I could chase motherfuckers down and shoot them, you know what I mean, with the helicopter and blow their but like that's more GTA than anything. But like if you just want to be relaxing and you want to be an ambulance and you fucking like you could pick up like it'd be funny like if it's like an open sandbox and people are killing each other and you're just playing the ambulance that picks up the dead bodies from the fucking
I think there might be something like that.
and you
Like,
can't kill the ambulance. Like the ambulance can't be fucked with. Like it's an invincible thing.
well, it's like this group right here called Bay Area Bugs. I started watching them and they're hilarious. There's one of the things I thought was funny is that they were playing as working as a constr- they're working on the roads
Mhm.
and I'm trying to find it, but they're like literally they're blocking off the most busiest road, and they're like destroying the road, and they put up stoplights that never change to green. It just stays red, and
Oh shit.
they're telling these guys like, don't run on red. Wait until it turns green. It does turn green, and it doesn't. Oh, here it is. Like, they're causing all kinds of damage right here. Crazy shit. Well, I'll put it right here.
What cars start building up and shit?
Yeah.
Oh,
The cop was trying to tell him you can go ahead and move because that light doesn't turn, but the construction worker he's saying no, you gotta wait until it turns red. Like he's taking the word of the construction worker over the cop. But it's a funny thing what they do. Like GTA 5 has evolved,
right,
so it's awesome that they do that. But like even you could work as a gas station attendant and do that. Or
right.
so it's like imagine you come off of work and it's like, all right, I'm gonna play some GTA 5. I'm gonna go do a shift of being a gas station attendant for a few hours.
Well,
Like,
right. That's what they should allow you to buy. Like Battlefield 3, you were able to rent a server, so you can rent your own server
yeah,
and then set the rules of that server. Pistols only, no guns. Instead of first to 100 kills team deathmatch, it's first to 500, right? So they should
mhm,
allow you to spend money and rent a server on GTA, but you make the rules and the parameters. Nobody has guns. You can't do this. You can do that, but you can't do. You know what I mean? Like, so you can
yeah,
do that, right? You can have just a server. I'm not saying this would be fun, but just a server where there's no violence going on. People are just living their lives. This guy's a gas station attendant. This guy's this. This guy's that. Right? So
yeah,
just but you have a choice, right? Some people might like that. There are people that do kill people, but then everybody gets alerted, and then people
mhm.
that are playing cops in that server go and get that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny. I was watching one of these guys' video, and they play as bums. So the way they were trying to panhandle, they decided to put a bunch of dumpsters in the road to force the cars to stop so they can panhandle to the people. And then when they finally get some money, they move the dumpster out of the
Oh
way.
my god.
And it was hilarious. It's like they had like 8 dumpsters blocking most of the road, and obviously the cops came by. It's like you can't do that. And one of the guys like going on is like asking the cops for money, and he's like, it was funny. The guy would eventually lead on to like he's panhandling, but he has 2 properties. He has one mansion in one area and a vacation house in another.
Oh
So
my
he's,
god.
so he's panhandling, and it was hilarious. It was like I was laughing my ass off because they're like the cop would say, "Hold on, like." Then you have money. Like, why are you panhandling? Like, imagine you like come home like from work and it's like, I'm gonna play as a bum on GTA 5 right now. Like, I don't I mean, I find it funny, but I mean I'm not for me, I'm not gonna do that though.
Right.
Because I mean, but I can get like, hey, let's do this skit and it'd be a one off, but shit like that makes me laugh.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's funny. Funny shit.
But I'm going back a little bit. It's like I feel like how the whole thing is all tied together. I feel like the future of retro gaming is dying off a little bit. Like yeah, they're making games. Like there's the Angry Video Game Nerd game coming out for the NES.
Right.
You can
And yeah, an
actually
actual
buy,
cartridge. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, And actually, there's a God. I'm trying to remember what game just recently came out, but it was came out from limited runs. But it was,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you plug it in, and it's been would supposedly would fry the NES, but
Really?
like, yeah. But it was like it's some kind of cartoon game. I can't remember what it was. But I mean, I love how they're still making games for NES. But that generation is gonna die off one day. Where I mean, for me, it'd probably be good because some of these prices will go down, and I can get more of them.
Right.
But the newer generations, they're gonna only care about the games that systems they played as a child. Yeah.
Or GTA, why not have an arcade in it? You go down to the arcade and you could play fucking these games, right? That like a whole arcade, like literally an actual arcade. Oh, I'm playing Pac-Man. Oh, I mean, listen, it costs money. It's not like you can just put it in a fucking game. I get it. You need to get the license
Yeah.
and shit like that. But I'm just spitballing here. An actual arcade, because dude, there are games that have games in it, right? But they're
Yeah.
fake arcade games, right? They don't exist or whatever.
Mm,
But I think that would be kind of cool.
yeah. I mean, they have so much knockoff stuff into GTA 5. They'll be like, uh, it was just it would be something close to it. Like be instead of eBay, it's FBay.
Right, right,
That
right.
it's like they just like they hint at the product or service, but it's they get away around the copyright name.
Right.
But I can see them kind of do like a Pac-Man clone, but it's not Pac-Man, it's Puck-Man, not
Right.
whatever or whatever or
Crackman. It's a crack rock.
yeah, crack. But it's like it'd be cool, but
And instead of ghosts chasing him, his spooks are chasing him. No.
well, I mean, gosh, gosh, it wasn't even Tari. Tari sued Magnavox because you had a Pac-Man clone of Casey Munchkin. But even though it was close, but not like it was a maze game, but the maze changed and they had ghosts, but they were monsters with antennas. But it was close enough that Atari sued Magnavox for that, even though Atari only had the rights to Pac-Man to the console versions and not the. I mean, they didn't own Pac-Man
Right.
because that was made by what Namco.
Namco. Yep.
So uh,
Namco.
I just think like the what sucks is the future of gaming that the PS6 and the next Xbox is going to be all digital. You know that for sure now
That pisses
because
me off. That pisses me off. That's
there's
upsetting.
no. Yeah, I mean it's true too because they're already phasing physical games out of stores. Like you go to Best Buy, it's getting lower and lower now. The only console we know now for sure coming up that actually still has physical media is the Switch.
And
Two
that's a card.
card, yeah, the little tiny card,
Right.
and it'll be backward compatible to Switch
Right.
One games. But we know once PS6 and the new Xbox, it's all digital, and then what's the point? Like you can just buy a fucking PC after that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's just like I don't understand why people buy a digital PS5 or the Xbox Series S or what is they call the new X, but it's also I guess it's Xbox X all digital where they take out the disk drive, but
Right.
it has the capability of the X. And
And
I thought,
whoever's naming the fucking Xboxes, Can somebody fire that asshole? You know what I mean? Like, can you have some fucking like uh, Xbox, then Xbox 360? Okay, it's a little weird, but whatever. Then we're like, all right, what is the next one going to be? Xbox 720? No, it's going to be Xbox One. What? What do you mean? Well, it's one console and it's all multimedia. No, but listen, when you have to explain the name sucks.
Oh,
Okay?
exactly. I
You know,
agree.
when you have to explain it, see, like, it's goofy. So it's the Galaxy S25 now, right? It's really not the 25th Galaxy. It's actually like, I don't know, let's say the 15th or whatever it is. I forget what the real
Mhm.
number is. But the reason they jumped it is because they wanted their number to be higher than iPhone's number. So if
Oh,
it's
that's
the
what.
iPhone 16 and the
Yeah.
Galaxy S25, they're like, "Oh, the S25 because people are retards must be better because it's 25 versus 16." That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
So Xbox probably was like, "We can't call it Xbox 3 or whatever
Yeah.
because it's PlayStation 4." So, you know, it's like, listen, the people that are into video games, they know what it is. You know what I mean? But when you call it dumb shit like the Xbox, no, the Xbox One was the Xbox.
Yeah.
That's technically Xbox One. Don't call it
Hmm.
one. What?
Now
Where
you
was the
got.
person to say, hey, 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 no, no, call it whatever, Xbox Ultimate, whatever the fuck you want. Do not call it one. But they fucked up and called it one. Then they call it the Xbox One X. All right. Then after the One X, Xbox Series X. All right, now what are we doing now? No, what
Well,
the fuck?
right here's what's funny. You got Xbox One. Uh, was it S A D? Was it all
What?
digital? Was it
Oh,
Xbox
Jesus Christ
S
Almighty!
all digital? So technically, it's Xbox One sad
And
because
and and Nintendo is like, listen, we're just gonna name different shit. Like this is the Switch 2, but it's a Switch 2. I'm
yeah,
surprised it's Switch 2. I'm surprised
yes,
that's the name of it, but they're like, yeah, it's Switch 2. Usually they
it
change the
makes
name.
sense.
Yeah,
It
no,
makes
but it's always a different like Nintendo's usually a
yeah.
different name. It's the GameCube, it's the
Mm,
64, it's the Wii, it's
yeah.
the only thing that was the Wii U, that's where they fucked up. But Super Nintendo,
Mm,
right? They could have went well, they almost did, right? They almost called it Ultra Nintendo because it
yeah.
was Ultra 64 in Japan.
Yeah.
Um but they're like, yeah, we dance to the beat of our own drum. We don't give a fuck what the number is. And they shouldn't.
No, I agree. See, I was 100% sure it was going to be called the new Nintendo Switch. Like the
Oh my god, like the new Coke?
well, not only that, it was the new 3DS where the new 3DS has their own exclusive games that work better or only work on the new 3DS.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah,
I
oh god.
so
You know
that's
what's a
why I
hunk of shit was the 2DS.
you know what the wedge is a junk hunk of shit, but the flip version's not
No, the flip
bad.
version no, the flip that's the point. The flip is good, but
Yeah.
why did you make one flip? It's fucking stupid.
You went backwards. You're like you had
Yeah.
3DS and 2DS, and it's like, and I think honestly, I think people realize that they a lot of people turn them off anyways. The 3D part.
No, no, that's understandable, but to get rid of the flip is just dumb.
Oh yeah, it was stupid. It was
Yeah.
literally a doorstop.
I was
It's
just
like
thinking today because this phone is too fucking big, right?
yeah,
I have the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It's too fucking big. I love it. I love the phone, but it's too big. It doesn't fit in any pockets. It's halfway hanging out of my fucking pocket. I get out of the fucking car, it falls out of my fucking pocket. So I want the one that flips
Yep.
closed. Right. But that is not as good as this. You know what I mean?
And,
And that pisses me off.
and eventually, I see memes where a phone's going to just be one, have a bunch of the cameras. Like the whole back will be a bunch of little cameras.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with that shit. It's like weird.
It's like,
You know what's
eh,
fucked up? Joe Rogan just had the best chess player in the world on. You know what he said?
what?
If he puts his iPhone at the hardest level on chess, he can't beat it. Isn't that
Oh,
fucking crazy? He's the best in the world.
well, to me, I'm like, God, like, because, computer's going to know, like, all right, he did this, so we had multiple ways to
Well,
go
yeah, the
around
computer
him.
just thinks about all of it right away.
Yeah. While, I mean, the only way you could probably have a chance is probably speed chess, and you still have compete
No,
with
you're
that.
fucked. You're completely fucked.
Yeah. So, like, but, like, gosh, but I can see going back to the Switch 2 name. It makes a little sense because we know ever since Nintendo fused their main console and their handheld console into one, and look at the Switch 1 sold over 150 million right now. Obviously, the Switch 2 I don't think is going to see that
Really?
number.
It's 150?
Yeah, it's 150.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
So
it just
it might become the best selling ever.
well, it would have until Sony decided to say, "Hey, the PS2 now sold 160, so they jumped to 10 million."
Wow.
Sony, they're but Nintendo is just as petty though too. So,
Wow. I didn't even know that. That's fucking nuts, dude.
well, the Switch 2 ain't gonna sell as much as
But
one.
but it's interesting because like I said, PlayStation 2 had the DVD element.
Mm,
Switch 2, yes, it has the element of being handheld also, but in my opinion at least, it's like I've had it since day one. I've only played I played Breath of the Wild, I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played the fucking Mario Odyssey, I
mm-hmm.
played the Metroid Dread. Oh, I played Mario Kart, I played Smash Bros. How's this? I can't get up to 10 games in how many years?
Well,
Like
I mean,
it's not that great of a console in my opinion as far as games.
I can see that because I would argue because a lot of times the Switch stole a bunch of the Wii U games that
Right,
Wii
they
U.
remade them.
Yeah, well, no, they straight ported them over.
Yeah, but where the fuck? See, that's the thing. Where is Galaxy 2? I never got to play Galaxy 2.
Yeah,
Why are
that
you
was
not doing
stupid.
Galaxy 2? It
I
pisses me.
was,
It's like hanging
I was,
over my fucking head. I don't care about Super Mario fucking what was the one? Sunshine. Fuck that game. Fuck
yeah, I
that game.
agree.
I'm not
There,
saying it's not a terrible game, but it's fuck that game.
if I had to choose
Remake
between,
64. You know how sick. All right, perfect example. There you go. Perfect fucking example. Keep it pretty much the same technology.
mm,
Make the game 4 times as big.
I mean, they kind of did that with the DS version a little bit. They evolved it.
Yeah, they evolved, but I'm saying like, how many worlds did it have?
I don't know.
Did it have
Like,
8 or 9?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, so make it 24.
Well, and I can see. That's why I point out the Wii U games. Like they had, they didn't do well during Wii U, but it had some really good banger games that I'm glad that finally a lot of them got ported over because some of them deserve a second chance of life, and they did.
Well,
Like
I never got to play Hyrule Warriors or
I,
either one.
they're okay.
Yeah, I never got to play those. I didn't play anything on the Wii U, to be honest with you. I never had a Wii U. I played the Wii U, but I never really like I had to wait till Skyward Sword
Mm.
was remade for Switch to play it.
Wii U was definitely it was underappreciated and underloved. For me, I there's so many games I love. It, I mean, Breath of the Wild was originally going to be just a Wii U game, and they got uh became a Switch. Switch is
Day
the port
one and
version.
also right. Well, that was what Twilight Princess did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but like, there's a lot of games like Pikmin 3. I'm pretty sure you're not a Pikmin person. Like,
I liked the first one. I played the first one, but it wasn't something like I wasn't waiting. Not because I'm not saying it's a bad game. It just wasn't my type of game.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't get into it until playing 3.
Because that's like
And
considered like a strategy game, right?
yeah, it's like a strategy
Yeah,
game.
I'm like there's strategy games that I really liked. I think Advance Wars was fucking amazing. Like there was some, but it's not as far as a genre. It's not something that I always was into, right?
I didn't think I would get into it until I played 3, and I played the demo first, and I fell in love with 3, and then I couldn't wait for 4 to come out, and then 4 finally came out after like 10 years later. I was like, I was pretty sure they just gave up on it, and now you have all 4 Pikmin games on the Switch now. So that's cool, but
Nintendo, I think Nintendo has to like they don't really have to do anything, really, at the end of the day. They don't have to do dick. But
true.
I think they should have a dark side. Like get a little more grittier. Don't be afraid of it. Get it like I heard the Magic Kingdom in Disney. The rumor is they're building an extra wing and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be based on all the villains.
That'd be badass.
There you go. See, that's what I mean. Like you know, you're not turning it into a fucking strip club, but
Yeah.
you're adding a little edge, like the new fucking Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
One section of it is all going to be Universal monsters. Fantastic. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough of that shit. I want a fucking I want a horror. You know, like how they have Fright Fest at fucking Six Flags. They have Halloween Horror Nights. I want a fucking all year round horror amusement park. Why can't I have it? Why does it only have to be at Halloween? Fuck you. Why can't I have, hey man, when I was a kid, all the amusement parks had a dedicated haunted house. It burned down in fucking 1983, and now we can't have it because some dickhead fucking lit a cigarette in there. Why can't I have a fucking haunted house, a dedicated haunted house? There's no reason for it. Go fuck yourself. I want a haunted house. Stop building horse shit. Like these horseshit rides, like the fucking, oh look, it's the fucking the Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth, which is basically the fucking pirate ship, but you spinning around at the same fucking time. Yeah, great.
Or
Make a
or
haunted
you're
house.
or you're flying in her invisible plane.
Yeah, it's
Like
just I, like
that,
again,
that's
I'm not saying you know, but I like I said, I wanted a whole amusement park. But it's like I wish I had a ton of money. You ever been to Vegas?
yeah.
What's missing theme wise in Vegas on the Strip? You have the Caesar's Palace is like Roman fucking whatever. Paris is obviously that.
Yeah.
Bellagio is like uppity fucking I'm an Italian fucking aristocrat, right?
You got a
You have
castle.
a castle, you have medieval, you have Treasure Island pirates,
Yeah.
you, right? You have Circus, which is, you
Yeah.
know, goofy. I mean, even though it's a shithole, but it's good. It has an amusement park, whatever. Why not a haunted one? Why not a haunted fucking
That's a
hotel and
good one.
casino?
I like that.
Why
I
that
like
whole fucking thing is a haunted castle or a haunted mansion or a haunted whatever. The fucking drink girls are
Mhm.
dressed like the fucking Bride of Frankenstein and the fucking of like a vampire chick and whatever. There's a
Or a
dedicated
victim.
yeah, how's this? There's a dedicated dark ride. And what I mean by dark ride is like the old haunted houses where you'd sit in a car and it would
Yeah.
drive you through it, but it's a huge one that goes around the whole fuck.
I think that would be badass. There's
I'm telling you, if
definitely
I had the money, like I would fucking set that shit up. Would be fucking amazing,
no,
amazing.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, God, um, I mean, yeah, I've been to Vegas. Oh my God, it's been since '08. Last time I've been there. I was actually it was me and my late wife. She was traveling dialysis,
Right.
and she was. We stayed in Vegas for 2 months, and of course, the 2 months it was during the summertime in Vegas.
Mm,
So, it's like for me, I didn't want to just hang around the hotel that their job supplied us. So I was trying to work. So I didn't have my vehicle, so I had to walk somewhere to try to find a job so I can not lose my mind. And eventually, it was during the summertime. I could only walk so much before all right, I'm turning around and going back to the hotel
right.
because I mean, or sometimes we would go to the mall. Oh my god, I'm this is, but it was
What the
nice,
mall and
but
like the casino?
no, there was a normal mall.
Oh, okay.
So this is a little off topic, but one time, uh, we were there. He had the stacking game where you stack blocks all the way to the top.
Right.
You had one section where you can get the minor prize,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and then you go top, you can get the major prize.
Right.
And one of the major prizes was a PSP. And this is
Oh shit.
when a few years in.
Right.
So my wife was good at that. She'll definitely get to the minor prize, no problem. And it would get to the she would have strategy, have the blocks to the side or something,
Right.
and she
Well,
would
you
get
gotta because once it gets higher, you gotta kind of like lead it. You can't hit it when it touches it. You gotta hit it
yeah,
before it touches it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she eventually got the PSP,
Oh,
and
nice.
we were figuring, hey, go and sell it and make some money off of it, but obviously the sell value was not that great. And then we had this dude saw her win. He was like, "Hey, I'll buy it from you right now." Like there was a game store and there was a GameStop. We were going between one and the other, and this dude's following me. I eventually had to tell him, "Dude, fuck off!"
Right.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
like,
Annoying. Go buy one,
yeah,
fuckface.
yeah. He was like, "I thought he was gonna rob us or mug us for
Yeah,
it."
seriously.
Yeah,
Well,
but
here's the other thing. Like if you're in the if anybody's listening and you've never been to Vegas, some like Caesar's Palace has like basically a mall attached to it, like a whole shopping
mm,
section. And the roof of the mall is painted like a sky
mm,
and it's lit up so it looks like there's a sky above you, right? In the haunted hotel, it would have a sky, but it would be night and have the moon out. And then every once in a while, it would get dark out, like where would the clouds would be on the and it would start thundering and fucking lightning.
yeah.
It would be fucking I'm telling you, that is missing there.
No, I agree with
It
that.
would totally and then you fuck like at nighttime, you know, like how they don't really do it anymore. That's the problem is that they used to have the pirate show outside of Treasure Island and shit. Do like a fucking when the night goes down, you get it all smoky and foggy and there's fucking thunder and lightning going off
Or
and fucking
or you go to the old strip that has that lighting tunnel.
right.
That
Oh, you're
that's
talking about
was
Fremont
a
Street.
yeah, the Fremont. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Like
probably
that.
be
Yeah.
that'd be perfect. Like maybe do a special deal when it's nighttime or a special like maybe Friday or maybe Friday the 13th we would have a special thing for that casino or something.
Right.
But I never went to the Fremont when it was nighttime, where you could see all the lights going off, the roof going off. It was during the daytime, and
Uh, I'll
it,
never
it,
forget the first time I was there. I was on mushrooms. I fucking got out of the cab. They didn't kick in yet. I was with this chick. I knew, she was from Colorado, and I met her in Vegas for a wedding. And we got out of the cab. I stand on the corner, and it's nighttime, and the fucking the show's about to start. So I remember the show starts, but it starts where a fucking space shuttle takes off at the end, and it goes, and it fucking goes all the way down the street, and as soon as it flew over my head, boom, the fucking mushrooms kick in. And then I remember the song that was playing was "I'm Burning for You" from Blue Oyster Cult. I'll never forget it. I was so fucked up. I was tripping out so fucking hard. And then we left and we went back to the hotel. We were staying at the Stratosphere.
mm,
Don't ever go to a fucking casino floor on mushrooms. There's too many lights and too many fucking
oh
sounds. It
yeah,
fucks you up. I was like,
dude.
get me the fuck out of here.
I've been to for our honeymoon. We went to Atlantic City, and I think we both
What year are
spent
we talking about?
2010,
Yeah, well, now it's a fucking shit house.
and it wasn't good then either.
Yeah, now, well, yeah, right. It's never been really good, but now there's no point even going because there's casinos everywhere.
Yeah, so we went there. We both, I think we either both spent about 300 each or $600 each. We got a good amount of money during the wedding, and we wanted to have a good time there. And not only we went to the casino, spent money. We went to God, was it Ripley? Believe it or not, place in there. That was great because you check out stuff, and then this is I guess this is during the PS3 era. Um, we were on, I guess, the boardwalk, and they had those games, those rigged games out there. Where,
Oh
hey,
yeah,
you throw a ball in the bucket 3 times, and you get the console.
right.
So I think my wife spent about maybe a couple $100 into that game.
Oh
I was
fuck.
like, tell her it was like because she was too good on the first two, and then fail on the third.
Right.
Like it's like we could have probably bought most of it, paid for most of it. And like I think it was just that moment you want to play a game and hopefully try to win. And she was good at
Yeah. How
games.
did
Like
they rig that game? Because I got fucked in that game too.
I think you had to throw the ball at a certain spot where it
No, I know
lands.
that, but for some reason you get it in the first 2 times all the time, but the third time you
Yeah.
can't get it in. So what do?
Maybe
They
change the ball out.
No, I think they might do something with the bottom of the basket where they make it more bouncy.
Probably.
It's like the fucking hammer, like the thing where you hit the fucking. They take the sledgehammer and you hit
Yeah.
the fucking thing, the digital one, and they go. "Brrrr." There's a button that they hit that makes it easier for people and harder for others. So if the chick is really hot,
Yeah.
they put the easy button on. And next thing you know, she's fucking hitting. She's got like 120. Meanwhile, I'm coming
Yeah.
up there. I'm 250 pounds. I go to the gym all the fucking time, and I can only
Yeah.
hit 95. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But the secret is in that game is that you have to hit that fucking hammer, boom, dead center.
And it's kind of like that punching bag game. I
Yeah,
mean, you don't even have to hit it hard. It's like a certain way how you punch it, and they even it's like someone broke it down. It's where it's I think it's a sensor where you put like a card real fast and it would trip it fast
right.
because uh but it's those things are rigged. But my wife, she was very good with games like
Mm.
that though too. She'll like the claw game. She was good at that too. Where like there was a restaurant in Pennsylvania we would go out all the time, and they had a prize claw game. And one day, uh, I went to the bathroom at that restaurant and came back. She had the ball from the claw game. She did it while I was in the bathroom, and she got the Cowboys football little
Yeah.
foam ball deal. I was like, "Oh, that's fun.
Well,
That's
the
funny."
secret with that game normally is that you have to make sure you get something that's not even being, it's just laying on top. It's
Yeah,
not being held back by anything because that claw is like, it's like a limp wrist. It's like a fucking
yeah,
gay guy. It's like goes in,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So it'll grab something, but any
yeah.
resistance, it's gonna let go of it. So you got to
Oh,
find something
yeah.
that's just sitting right on the fucking top where it can just go bloop and pick it up and
And
just
that's bullshit though too. Like I can understand they don't want to lose money in it,
right.
but like you grab it and then it's like it just literally just slipped through because oh I didn't get a good grip on it. I'm like
This motherfucker right here. See this motherfucker right here? This
"Y-
cocksucker right here.
yeah,
So there was one just like this in a crane game near a rest stop near my house, and I fucking had it, and it fucking had him by his toe like this. It was had it like this, and it carried it over, and then it slipped out right at the end, and I could never get it. But I wasn't falling for the fucking banana in the tailpipe. I tried three times. I tried three times, and I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, watch this." Amazon, I'm gonna buy it right now. Go fuck yourself. And that's how I got that motherfucker right there.
See what's crazy is like some of these I never seen this laundromat, but I guess some laundromat has like arcade games and some of them even try to put like crane games or stuff, but they're getting in trouble because that's considered gambling. I'm like I don't see the problem unless you're actually gambling or like if there's a you do a coin pusher or something, okay.
Oh, I
You're
hated those fucking machines.
dude, I've been watching this one channel that's a coin pusher channel, and this guy would say he's into like uh millions of dollars of buy-in play
Right.
where they'll like this one I watched it says that he had a quarter $25 million buy-in where they only give you at the casino 25 quarters for the coin pusher.
Oh my
Then
god.
I was like, one, how's casinos gonna make sure that you're not gonna pull quarters out of your pocket from like
Right.
just
Well, they probably
nil?
check your pockets or whatever.
Yeah, but here's the thing: someone did some homework on this guy, and they looked at the chips and looked at the little gold bars, and found out all of it was fake.
Oh
And
shit.
so, and not only that, even with how outrageous number he said it was a buy-in, he said he paid $25 million for a buy-in, and then he comes out with over $1 billion profit. I'm like,
Stop.
and this guy always wins. So, like, hold on, what about the casino losing millions and billions of
Well,
dollars?
again,
Like,
you see the casino, it might even be bullshit. The casino might be pretending he's doing that, right? Just to get the people to come there and play. It's like the old three-card Monty. You know what three-card
yeah,
Monty is? Right.
yeah,
I was just, it's funny because I was just saying this the other day. The whole hustle was they'd be on, so if you don't know what three-card Monty is,
yeah,
they'd have three fucking cards and they would go like this with the cards, right? And you'd
mhm,
say, let's say one of them's the ace of spades, right? And they like, look, the ace of spades is the middle card. All right, I'm gonna flip them, flip them, flip them. Tell me where the ace of spades is when I'm done, right? So the
yeah,
game, so the whole fucking rub is there would be a guy that would be there playing
mhm.
that really was part of the game, but you didn't know that. And he would win every time.
He's on the inside.
Yeah. And he would walk away with, say, $50 or $100. And you're like, oh, thanks, man. All right, man. Good job. Have a good day. And now you come up thinking, oh, shit, I could do this. And then you start playing, and maybe you win one, a couple one, then you lose, and then you lose like 2, 3, 4 in a row. He's like, all right, double or nothing. double or nothing, you take your money, blah, blah, blah. All right, we'll play it again. And then once they get your money, they kick the fucking table over and we'll talk to you later. It's
Exactly.
it's the hustle. That's the hustle.
Yeah, and that's so. Here's the thing with this channel. See, the machine is just so generic, and not only that, it's just him talking, and there's no background noise at all. There's no casino noises or
Yeah.
anything. It's like it's always the same machine, but he has all these chips in the tower and gold bars and money everywhere. So, but
Yeah, it
like,
sounds like a scam.
yeah, I'm like, it's entertainment to watch it, but then it makes it. He pulls you out when he says he has so much money to buy in. Like, I'm like, and then he comes out. Oh, I won $1 billion. I'm like, come on,
Shut
dude.
up.
Like you think I would be smart enough to bring like maybe like $100 worth of quarters in my pocket
Right.
like to do that, right? Like then because this guy would always wipe out the whole board, the whole playfield every episode.
Oh my
Like,
god.
what about an episode of him losing his ass?
Right.
Like just like this must be the worst casino of all time where
Yeah.
a dude comes in and wins all the time.
Well,
Like,
that's the rub. It was also editing it, right? So
yeah,
you only see the
but it's proven all that stuff was fake because, like I said, it was the same machine over and over and over.
right.
But it's just crazy. It's one of those things I watch and then it's like, oh, I just bored and it's just, oh, it's interesting. Huh. Because you kind of want to play it a little bit, but then you realize it's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's called diddling your greed clit. That's what I call
Yes,
it. Yeah.
exactly.
Casey, I gotta
But
go shopping at Whole Foods.
yeah, I was gonna say let's wrap this up. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I want to thank the other guys for showing up in a timely manner. You cocksuckers that you are. But that's all right because we hold down the fucking fort. That's what we do. Almost 3 hour fucking show.
we actually talked over an hour before that too.
That's what I'm saying. But the actual recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean shit happens. I mean I wanted those guys come on, but it was early in the morning and I'm sure they slept late,
All
so
right. So Casey's playing good cop. I'm gonna play bad cop. Fuck them. How's that? Go fuck yourselves. How's that?
well, I appreciate Filthy coming on.
It's always
That'd be
fun,
weird.
Casey.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, bro. I can't wait for next time.
Yeah, I don't. It's funny. I don't do a lot of shit on YouTube. A lot. Not. It's not really like I get up way early in the morning on
Mhm.
Saturdays. I'll get up at 5, 6 a.m. like an idiot. But so I'm tired by the end of the day. But yeah, I always have fun doing this shit. So I always talk. I always talk like talking shit about video games and shit like that.
Mhm.
So yeah. Until next time.
See you guys.
Later.